is your home for the Trojans. Girard Sports Live.
Snap and leans forward, and that's touchdown number 4 for Scott Moore.
Girard Sports Live is presented by Crawcan, your community technology partner. Learn more at ckt.net.
Brooks, throw over to Adolph, quickly down inside, wrap around Boatman, found herself in the right place, foul, and the bucket!
He'll try a 3 and hits. Adolph with it up top, being guarded by Gass. Girard down the lane, off the glass, and good. Nice instinct by Adolph to just take it to the bucket.
Fielded on the short hop, fires this one across. Able to throw the runner out by a step and a half.
Pitch to the outside to Ashbacher. Gets a good block on the outside, and he's in for the touchdown.
It's time for the Trojans. On your home for Girard High School Athletics. Girard Sports Live. Girard Sports Live.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome out to Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium. Getting set for tonight's matchup between the Girard Trojans and the Fort Scott Tigers. We got a doubleheader tonight. Girls opening up. They'll tip off at around 6 o'clock, and then the boys to follow with the nightcap. We do want to let you know Girard Sports Live is presented by Crawcan, your community technology partner. Don't get bit by slow speeds and high prices. Get Gigabit, the fastest internet in Southeast Kansas with Crawcan. To learn more, go to ruralfiber.org or see everything Crawcan has to offer at ckt.net. Well, Trojans, the girls, are 10-1 coming into tonight's game. Fort Scott struggling a little bit. The girls team is doing great this year. The boys team just 1-9, and so kind of similar programs where the girls are having good years for each school. This girls matchup could be the best two teams, girls basketball teams in Southeast Kansas, and then the boys matchup, a couple of teams that just really haven't been able to find their rhythm consistently this season. Fort Scott just 2-9 on the year, or 1-9, excuse me, on the year on the boys' side. So it'll be an interesting matchup. They have played some pretty tough competition this year. Their only win coming over St. Mary's Colgan. We'll talk more about that as we move forward in the Community National Bank and Trust pregame show. But for now, we'll take a quick break. We come back. We'll get you the area matchups going on around the state of Kansas tonight, the ones we care about anyway. And then get you your keys to the game, your starting lineups as we get closer to tip-off. Trojans and the Tigers coming up right after this. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Why settle for less than the best? Crawcan's Gigabit fiber optic internet is now available to Pittsburgh, Frontenac, and Fort Scott, and many rural areas in between. Crawcan has the best speeds, the best reliability, the best service, the best support, and is overall the best value on all ultra-high-speed internet. If you want the best home internet connecting as many devices, all without equipment rentals, contracts, or overages, it is the time to switch to the best. It's time to switch to Crawcan.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years, with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust, federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
Tries to make something out of nothing. The Trojans all over him. It's going to be a big loss on the play.
A Trojan sack means $1 short stacks at Eastside Cafe. Kick off your day with a hearty breakfast or take that midday break at Eastside Cafe. And this fall, when the Trojans get a sack, you get $1 short stacks the next day. Eastside Cafe, a favorite of the 4 states winner. Go Trojans from Eastside Cafe.
Since 1918, GN Bank has been the heart of our community. Big enough to meet all your banking needs, but small enough to offer that personal touch you deserve. From agricultural loans to home mortgages, GN Bank has the expertise, products, and service to help you thrive. With a pledge to treat others ethically, be adaptable, focus on customers, and invest in the communities they serve, GN Bank is committed to your success. The best place to bank and borrow, GN Bank, where community banking truly comes first. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium, getting set for tonight's doubleheader between the Girard Trojans and the Fort Scott Tigers. And Daryl and I have been setting up here and watching the tail end of this girls' JV game.
Yeah.
The Fort Scott girls ended up winning it by about 14. Honestly, I was doing other things when the final score was taken down, but I know the Trojans fell short tonight. But very physical game, and the crowd very much engaged in that one. So we'll see what we get here as far as participation from the crowd goes during these varsity games. This is the Community National Bank and Trust pregame show, brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust, serving the area for over 30 years. Stop in soon to pick up your very own Girard Trojan Instant Issue Mascot Debit Card. Community National Bank and Trust, a proud supporter of Girard Schools. Learn more online at mybankcnb.com. Well, tonight's game here in Girard, one of 119 going on across the state of Kansas. Don't worry, I'm not going to list them all. We picked out 13 that you might have some interest in, and might not even be interested in those, just this one right here. But tonight, St. Paul on the road at Southeast. Chanute travels to take on Trinity Academy. Humboldt is at Anderson County. Columbus is at Galena, and Columbus's boys, I think, with just 1 or 2 wins this season. Galena is 7-0, so that one kind of a lopsided on the boys' side. The girls' team's a little more evenly matched. Frontenac is at Colgan, so that's a big rivalry game anytime those two schools meet up in anything. Prairie View is at Burlington. Liberal, Missouri travels to Riverton to take on the Rams tonight. Uniontown is at Northeast. Fredonia plays host to Erie. Chautauqua travels to Moran to take on Marmaton Valley. Jayhawk Lynn is at Pleasanton. And a big old SEK League rivalry, Parsons is at Pittsburgh tonight. And Cherryvale is at Neodesha. So those are the games going on around Southeast Kansas tonight. And a great atmosphere, a beautiful day today. It was like 60 degrees. Man. I was just loving the outdoors.
Perfect.
But we're indoors tonight for this one here in Girard, and it's going to be a good atmosphere and a couple of really good girls teams facing off and a couple of boys teams trying to find their stride as we move down the stretch of the season. So stay tuned. We'll have some good basketball for you coming up on the other side of the break. We're going to step away for a minute. We come back, we'll get you your keys to the game and starting lineups as we get closer to tip-off from here in Girard. The Trojans and the Tigers coming up right after this on Girard Sports Live.
From the phone call to the service call, Roto-Rooter is there with fast and reliable sewer and drain service. From repair and replacement to septic and grease trap pumping, Roto-Rooter is here for you. With video inspections, Roto-Rooter can identify the exact issue to get the repair done quickly and correctly. Complete sewer line repairs or replacements, Roto-Rooter has you covered. Serving Crawford, Bourbon, and Cherokee counties, Roto-Rooter, 620-231-5630.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a house, land, or commercial space, look no further than Lehman Realty. Locally owned and operated, Jason Lehman and his staff are ready to meet the needs of every client. When it comes to your listing, you can trust that Lehman Realty will take the time to get to know you and your property. Lehman Realty is a proud supporter of Girard Trojan Athletics. Learn more at www.lehmanrealty.net. or call Jason at 620-724-8020.
The first one here is a 2017 Ford Focus with only 21,000 miles. That one's not for sale though. I'm going to probably keep that one.
Hi, my name's Eddie.
2016 Chevy Malibu with only 13,000 miles, but I might hang on to that one too. So let me show you the next one. Ford F-150, but that one's going to stay with me too. So let's go down to the next one here.
Hi, I'm Eddie.
2017 F-150, so we have 3 of them. I could probably let that one go.
Hi, my name's Eddie.
2015 Ford Transit Cargo. I'm going to keep that one because I have to move here soon. But the rest of them, you're welcome to come out and look at. And I think you'd like a lot of them. We appreciate your business.
Unbelievable amount of devastation. I've never seen anything like it.
We had a beautiful barn that was gone in 20 minutes.
Farm Bureau stepped up right away and said, hey, we got you and we'll be there for you.
We were taken care of. Now we could get on to repairing and rebuilding.
I tell everybody about Farm Bureau.
We're fortunate to say we have good coverage with good people doing it.
Contact Judd, Lori, Lisa, or Amber in Girard for all your insurance needs.
Hello, Four States. This is Jay Hatfield with Jay Hatfield Motorsports. We've been serving the Four States area with motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides, plus offering you parts and service since 2005. We have 2 convenient locations, Pittsburgh and Joplin, selling quality brands such as Polaris, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Can-Am, and Suzuki. Jay Hatfield has a huge inventory available for immediate delivery. We offer financing options and an extensive selection of accessories. Most important, we're making deals. Come in and get your fun started today at Jay Hatfield Motorsports in Pittsburgh or Joplin.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium, getting set for tonight's doubleheader between the Girard Trojans and the Fort Scott Tigers. What do you call this? A non-conference, non-league game, interleague? Who knows? These teams
good basketball,
aren't in the same league, but only separated by about 20 miles. And we're going to see a very good girls game tonight, and probably a very competitive boys game against a couple of really good girls teams, probably the best 2 in Southeast Kansas right now. And then the boys, both teams, I wouldn't call them the best in Southeast Kansas, but they're kind of evenly matched because they're both trying to find their stride here mid-season. And Trojan boys trying to bounce back off a loss to Sabetha and the consolation game of the Burlington tournament. So we'll talk more about that as we move forward through the Community National Bank and Trust pregame show. But first, there's a girls game between 2 very quality girls teams. And for the Trojan girls, they lost a heartbreaker 2-point game, the opening round of that Burlington Invitational tournament to the defending state champion, Silver Lake. And it's a game where the Trojan girls really struggled to take care of that ball in that first half and committed, I have it somewhere, but about 13 to 15 turnovers in that first half. And that's, if you ask any coach, that's just too many. And in a 2-point game, if the Trojans could have just taken just a little bit better care of that basketball in that first half, they could have come out of there with a win over Silver Lake. And Coach Herlocker said it in the post-game show. It's definitely a team that Girard would like to see again down the road this season. And that means that both of those squads make it to the state tournament. And this girls team here from Girard is certainly capable of doing that. But tonight, trying to take care of business against this Fort Scott team. Girard girls come in 10-1 on the season. Fort Scott, they're coming off a 55-49 loss against Blue Valley Southwest, but that's a pretty big school up there in Johnson County, and they were kind of punching above their weight playing Blue Valley Southwest. And so they do have wins this season against Parsons, Pittsburgh, Chanute, Frontenac, and Colgan. So undefeated against Crawford County so far this year, and Trojan girls looking to change that tonight. Our girls, like I mentioned, lost that heartbreaker last Friday, 50-48 against Silver Lake, but then bounced back on Saturday and won 46-35 over the host school, Burlington. And they enter tonight's game 10-1. And Darrell, again, I just think how they start and how they take care of the ball early could affect the score late.
Oh, absolutely. And I think one of the main factors is that you can't get away with anything in this game. There's going to be no lenience. This is probably one of the best teams you've faced. And going up into Burlington it's a huge move for the program kind of altogether because you're facing some really good competition. As you mentioned, defending state champion. You don't get competition like that around here all the time. Of course, you're always going to get your rivals that are always going to play you well. But playing against Fort Scott tonight's another test. They've got some tall girls on their team. Kylie Comstock, a senior starter for this team, she is standing in at 6 foot. And then also one of their guards, Allie Brown, recently just committed to play softball at Pittsburgh State University. She is another very well-rounded guard, and it's going to put the Trojans to the test, specifically their defense. I don't think their defense really faced a really well-rounded team so far yet this season. I mean, they've been able to kind of either bully the guards or bully the down-low play, but they won't have a chance for either of that today. So controlling the ball is going to be a must. And then on defense, they need to really hone in and make sure they're defending the right people.
Those keys to the game brought to you by Evans Motors. Get the keys to your next ride with a stop at Evans Motors. Nate and Eddie have decades of experience getting folks into the right car, truck, van, or SUV that's right for them and their families. Stop by and see them at the intersection of Highways 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh, or see their full selection online at evansmotors.net. We'll step away for another break. We come back. We'll get you starting lineups as we get closer to tip-off here tonight between the Trojans and the Tigers. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Whether you're trying to make the most of the next harvest, navigating a changing business landscape, or planning for the next chapter in your life, the professionals at Prime Accounting Solutions are here to help. With 10 locations, Prime Accounting offers convenient, friendly accounting and tax services at a fair price. Payroll, bookkeeping, business planning, personal tax filing, and more. And now Prime is the place to go for insurance. Trojan fans can find us at 408B North Grand in Pittsburgh or call 620-232-7305. To find a location near you, go to primeaccounting.net.
Chicken Annie's of Girard is something to crow about. Their family-style restaurant continues a Southeast Kansas tradition with their specialty, fried chicken, plus famous homemade onion rings, chicken and noodles, and so much more. And of course, their delicious homemade pies. Dine in or carry out available. Chicken Annie's of Girard has the best value, flavor, and service in the area. Stop in soon or call for catering. 620-724-4090.
Communicating with current and potential customers is a must in the world of business. Advertising is nothing more than communication and an invitation. Look no further than Norris Advertising, offering a wide variety of services from billboards, radio across the 4 states, and digital ad services like ZTV, YouTube, geofencing, streaming, and more beyond the local view. Looking to upgrade your storefront? Norris Advertising is your go-to for local digital sign sales. Norris Advertising. Get your ads to work.
From the football field to the bean field, the right equipment can make all the difference. Gear up for harvest, expand your fleet, or grow your business with Tyler Jackman at Big Iron Auctions. Tyler can improve your operation conveniently, efficiently, and effectively. And if you're selling one piece or the whole operation, Big Iron can connect you with over 750,000 registered bidders. Buying or selling, go big. Big Iron Auctions. Call Tyler Jackman at 620-404-8115. BigIronAuctions.com.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium. Trojans getting set to play host to the Fort Scott Tigers. Set for a really good girls matchup between these two squads. As we're about 5.5 minutes away from tip-off right now. We're running ahead, Darrell. I don't know. What did we do?
We started during the JV game, and that's something that we haven't done yet this season. Normally I hit that open as soon as that girls' JV game ends, but this time we started a little early, and look at us.
That was my idea, wasn't it?
It was, and now I feel
a
lot less stressed about getting all those breaks in. It's pretty nice, honestly.
If life has taught me anything, Darrell, it is never have an idea. I don't know why I didn't.
I think we'll stick with that from now on. I know we're running ahead, but.
Yeah, just never have an idea. Okay. So we gave you the matchups going on around the area. I'm not sure if I let you know that was brought to you by Diskins Auto and Towing at 120 East Forest Avenue in downtown Girard. If I didn't, I am remiss. Diskins offers 24-hour towing, and they can repair all makes and models. To learn more, call Diskins Auto and Towing at 620-724-8100. Okay, I think we're on to the starting lineups now. First for the visiting Fort Scott Tigers, they'll start number 2, 5'6" junior guard Abby Gorman, number 10, 5'5" senior guard Allie Brown, number 20, 5'9" junior Claire McElroy, number 23, 6' senior center Kylie Comstock, or power forward, depending upon your preference, and number 25, 5'9" junior JC Rogers. So they're not really putting a lot of height out on the floor except for Comstock. And so maybe that could be an advantage. The average height might be an advantage for the Trojans. We'll see. For Girard, they'll start 5'8" senior Jariah Adolph, 5'8" sophomore Kennedy Keller, 5'9" junior Maddie Kester, number 22, 5'6" sophomore Carson O'Rand, and 5'9" junior Erica Boatman.
Yeah, something to note about Boatman. Coming into this one, she is almost averaging a double-double, and so I'm watching those rebounds pretty heavily tonight. I'm actually going to
keep the pancakes.
I'm going to keep track of them because of the pancakes. Andrew at Eastside doing a great job over there, and he ran that promo a few times. I hope you guys were able to go in and get your short stacks and watch closely for this game because I got a feeling rebounding is going to be a key to it, and Boatman always happens to find her way to the ball.
And, you know, I've been saying all season long, modifying our script here, Daryl, and I know that that's sometimes frowned on, but I've been saying that the Eastside Cafe has the finest breakfast in all of Crawford County.
Yeah.
Personal opinion, right?
Right.
But just a couple, like last week before, unfortunately, Harry's Cafe over in Pittsburgh closed, a landmark for the community. And now it's without a doubt, like
not even close.
There's no doubt.
Hey man, Bob's Grill is pretty good, but I'm going to take those pancakes at Eastside any day.
Well, there's pretty good, and then there's the best.
That's true.
Yeah, not taking anything away from Bob's. I'm just saying Eastside's the best breakfast in Crawford County. Anyway, now that we've settled that,
of course.
We gave you your starting lineups. They're about 2.5 minutes away from tip-off. Let's go ahead and try and squeeze in that final pregame show break. We'll be back with tip-off from here in Girard, the Trojans and the Tigers, coming up on Girard Sports Live.
Are you tired of waiting for your internet to load at a snail's pace? Or feeling like your connection is slower than a sloth's morning routine? Maybe your current internet feels as speedy as a sunbathing turtle. Well, say goodbye to the slow lane and welcome to Crawcan Fiber Optic Internet, where we leave the slow movers in the dust. You'll zoom through the web faster than Sharky being swarmed by his adoring fans. Crawcan Fiber Optic Internet, because life's too short to wait for slow connections.
Producers Cooperative Association is the area leader in providing quality agricultural products, services, and markets. PCA has what you need to maximize your operation with a full-service agronomy department, grain origination, handling and storage, bulk fuels and lubricants, propane, a jam-packed farm store, and livestock feeds in bulk or bagged. PCA is proud to call Girard home and to support Trojan athletics. Stop by or see more online at pcacoop.com.
Call's service is outstanding in their field, especially for those that are stuck, outstanding in their field. Call's carries a wide selection of farm, industrial, and heavy-duty tires, all from the best brands in the business. And they've got farm service trucks ready to go. Plus, Call's continues to be the place folks go for car and truck tires, repairs, oil changes, and so much more. If you're in the market for new tires in Southeast Kansas, make the right call to Call's Service, 620-724-4121. See more at callservicellc.com.
Hydrix, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Samsung savings. Leave notes, sync calendars, and display your photos on the new Samsung Family Hub refrigerator. Plus, get free same-day delivery. Why shop for appliances where the motto is do it yourself when you can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day?
The only thing better than our price is our service. Hydrix, Fort Scott, and Girard.
a partner in your fields and in your success. That's what you get with Murphy Seed. Channel seedsman Matt Murphy knows your fields and can recommend the elite seed products designed to perform in your area, maximizing the profitability of every acre. With Murphy Seed, you'll get year-round, hands-on, customized service. To learn more, call Murphy Seed at 620-249-6419. Your partner at every stage. Matt Murphy and Murphy Seed.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust. Federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
You've enjoyed life. Over the years, your community has become your passion, something you hope future generations get to experience, just as you have. That's why the Girard Area Community Foundation has worked hard to help fulfill charitable goals and inspire generosity, meeting the needs of the communities they serve. Creating a legacy fund with GACF ensures what you leave behind is an effective and lasting improvement in the community you love so dearly. Make plans to visit GirardAreaFoundation.com, preserving traditions for those who follow.
I was raised in a small town, and there was a lot of people who took time to invest in me. And so when we decided to open up our offices, we want to make sure that we're pouring back into the community that's giving to us. We care. We want to be involved. We want to have a passion for what you have a passion for. We want to be able to give back. And that's the foundation. That's why we're more than just insurance.
Tries to make something out of nothing. The Trojans all over him. It's going to be a big loss on the play.
A Trojan sack means $1 short stacks at Eastside Cafe. Kick off your day with a hearty breakfast or take that midday break at Eastside Cafe. And this fall, when the Trojans get a sack, you get $1 short stacks the next day. Eastside Cafe, a favorite of the 4 states winner. Go Trojans from Eastside Cafe.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor. Starting lineups for both teams being introduced. We already took care of that business.
Oh, yeah, because we're ahead of the game, Josh.
First time ever.
Definitely first time in 2025.
That's right.
I can tell you that much.
Getting set for our opening tip, brought to you by Farmers Bank. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard.
You know, I gotta tell you, Josh, when it comes to athletics, one of the things you love most in this world is a good tailgate. And I gotta give credit to Zach Benzo, Zeb Poland, and the rest of those boys out there working that tailgate, because I just had the best walking taco from them that I think I've ever had.
Shut the front door. The best walking taco?
It might be the best. Melissa Kester's was a close second. She makes a pretty good walking taco, but I gotta say, that walking taco from Benzo and the boys was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, this might be the first time I've ever heard the words amazing and walking taco used in the same sentence. So
sometimes when the bar is so low.
That's right. Well, then we're off to a banging start here in Girard. As Trojans getting set to get underway here against the Fort Scott girls. And like we said in the pregame show, and I think almost anybody who looked at the records and looked at the landscape would tell you these are probably two of the best girls basketball teams in all of Southeast Kansas, getting set to face off here tonight at Ted R. Taylor. And so we're in for a treat. Kester set to jump it against Kylie Comstock. Kylie with about 6 inches on Maddie, and Fort Scott will control the tip as Claire McElroy with it. Down the lane, won't go. The putback does roll in for Abby Gorman. And Fort Scott out to a 2-0 lead. Now they're applying a little soft full court pressure as they tip turnover on the Trojans. And it's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Scott. Get it into Comstock, off the glass and good. You gotta deny Comstock, especially when she's on the blocks like that on an inbound. A lot of contact on Kester. It's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Scott. Maddie having a little discussion with the official. It was pretty one-sided. Point of parliamentary procedure. I believe that was a foul, sir. Now Adolph with it on the wing. Back up top to Kester as the Trojans get into the half court for the first time tonight. Boatman thought about a three. Now she gives it up to Kester. Maddie into the corner to Oran. Now back to the middle of the lane to Boatman, and her shot is good. First bucket of the night for Erica. We're tied at 2. 7 minutes to play first quarter. Brown bringing it up the floor, guarded by Orand. Now she'll kick it over to McElroy. Into the corner to Gorman, back up top. Shot on the way from Brown, off the back iron, no good. Long rebound comes down to Adolph, and she's fouled. They're going to whistle this one, I think, on J.C. Rogers. Nope, they're going to put it on Gorman. No, I think Rogers was the one swiping at the ball. Now the Trojans going to have to try and break this little three-quarter court trap that Fort Scott was running, and they do. Trojans into the half court, trailing 4-2. That one tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Fort Scott. Trojan ball. Everybody wearing the fire engine red over there was pointing the other direction.
Naturally so.
That's what you do, you know. Kester down the lane, spinning. She'll kick it back out to Keller. Open for three, and Kennedy drills it. First bucket of the night for Keller. Trojans with a 1-point lead. Gorman with it on the wing, guarded by Adolph. She'll work off of a screen. Trojans do a good job switching on her. Drive to the bucket, no good. Rebound, Boatman, as Gorman that was Brown, just put it up into the bottom of the rim. Kester with it at the free throw line. Work it back up top. Over on the wing to Adolph on the far side. Cross-court pass, tipped, and Jiraiya thought about that one a little bit too long and allowed the Fort Scott defender to jump the lane. That was Claire McElroy who got a hand in there and knocked it away, but she couldn't control it, and the Trojans will get it right back. Adolph with it on the wing, into the corner to Boatman. Her shot no good. Right there for the rebound is Keller, and the putback is good. 5 points for Keller. Trojans by 3. 5:22 to play first quarter. Brown picked up at half court. Now she'll get it back on the wing, trying to direct some traffic. Now Gorman with it. She's going to try and drive baseline, gets it into Comstock. Now back out to McElroy. And a nice look to find J.C. Rogers, who puts it up off the glass and in. So 3 Fort Scott Tigers are into the scoring column, and the Trojans lead at 7-6. Adolph gets it over to Orand. Adolph going to hoist a three in and out. Rebound comes down to Comstock, and now Fort Scott back on the offensive end with a chance to take the lead. Brown with it on the wing, guarded by Orand. Looking for Comstock. Now she'll kick it back up top to Gorman. Gorman backs it out, working off a screen from Comstock. She's going to drive to the free throw line. Kicks out. Now Brown drives across the lane. Gives it up to McElroy. Driving into Boatman. She'll kick it back out for Comstock. Shot on the way, no good. Long rebound gathered by by Keller. And now over to Adolph. Now Orand's got it. And Trojans trying to set up the half court. Down low to Boatman. Losing her balance. Kicks it back out to Kester for three, and Maddie drills it. First bucket for Kester. Trojans by 4. And that outside shot's really working so far here early for the Trojans. And luckily, the good news if you're a Trojan fan is that it's not just one player hitting that outside shot. And there's a travel going to be called against Abby Gorman, and that'll turn it over to the Trojans. Sisney checking into the game, replacing O'Rand. Kester gets it across the timeline. Down the lane, gets it to Boatman. Her shot no good. A lot of contact down low. No foul call, and Fort Scott's going to come away with it. Long pass down the court, too high for the intended receiver. It's time to get to know my... That was Rayleigh Cowan, who just checked into the game for Fort Scott. Keller into the middle of the lane to Kester, looking to get it to Boatman. Now she'll kick it back out to Sisney. Into the corner to Adolph, now down to Boatman. Erica's turnaround is good. 4 points for Boatman. Trojans back up by 6. Comstock just ran right into the chest of Keller for no reason. Boatman blocks her shot. Adolph comes away with it, and then the foul from Abby Gorman. That's her second. Keller is in some pain as she took one right to the sternum. And it looked like a shoulder or an elbow maybe, and Kennedy has to sit down and gather herself. O'Rand checks into the game for Girard. And Comstock will take a seat. And Aubrey Yerrick into the game for Fort Scott. Boatman thought about it from the free throw line. Now she'll put it on the floor, gives it up to Adolph, and they're going to call Kester for 3 seconds in the lane.
Kind of an odd batch of calls to start this game.
Yeah, you know, and strange what's getting called and what's not.
Yeah.
But everything's open to interpretation, right?
Always is.
Another turnover by Fort Scott. Boatman comes away with it. She's fouled going to the bucket. And Erica will earn a trip to the stripe. First time for any Trojan tonight at the free throw line. They whistle that one on Allie Brown. That's her first. And there's a 30-second timeout. Fort Scott wanting to talk it over. As Coach Steps wanting to gather his squad. We'll stay right here. And so far, Darryl, the Trojans done a pretty good job taking care of the basketball. And the outside shots are falling, and it just kind of really opens everything up offensively for Girard.
It absolutely does, and I got to tell you, Erica Boatman once again having a wonderful game. She has a steal, a block, a couple of rebounds to her name, and an assist as well. I mean, she's just been on fire.
To go along with 4 points, and then she's going to the free throw line.
I mean, she's just been everywhere on the floor, and I think we keep repeatedly talking about her over the season, but I think I almost overlook her a little bit. She's not one of those two main guards up top. Mm-hmm. She's not playing as high as a role as Maddie Kester down low as far as ball handling and stuff goes, but she's right there all the time. Such a good player on this team, and I mean, it's time to start. I need to stop overlooking her when I think of keys of the game specifically.
And when she has a good game, the Trojans usually win.
Absolutely.
And, she's had a good year so far.
She's been having good games.
First shot goes.
That 10-1 record kind of shows it as well.
Comstock got a brief breather. She's back into the game as Claire McElroy takes a seat. Second shot good for Boatman. 6 points for Erica thus far. Trojans by 8. Brown will handle it up the floor for Fort Scott. Now over to Allison Wheeler. Or I'm sorry, that was Riley Cowan. And that pass off the hands of the intended receiver, out of bounds. It'll be Trojan ball from in front of their own bench. Down around 2 minutes to play first quarter. Trojans lead it by 8, and there's just some miscommunication between Kester and Adolph, and that turns it right back over to Fort Scott. Comstock gives it up to Brown. Over to Cowan, drives in the lane, needs some help, kicks it out. Now back over to Brown. She tries to go over the top and does to Rogers. Now she's cut off, and that pass way up over the top, and it ends up with Cowan, who tracked it down. Brown with it as they try to reset the offense for Fort Scott. Rogers had an open look. She tries to drive baseline, and they're going to get a foul on Boatman for blocking, I believe. I didn't see her swiping at the ball.
Foul's on number 23, Erica Boatman, her first team first.
First team foul on the Trojans, first on Boatman. They get the inbound pass into Rogers. Now to Comstock, going to work against Adolph. Up and under, shot on the way, in and out. Rebound, Kester. I know if you're a Fort Scott fan, you like to see Comstock get that one a little bit closer to the bucket. Here comes Adolph to the baseline to Kester. Into the middle of the lane to Boatman. Her shot up and good. 8 points for Boatman. Trojans by 10. Brown handling, kicks it over. Cowan. Aubrey Yarrick, her shot on the way. I'm sorry, Brown's shot no good. Tipped out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Sisney. It'll stay with Fort Scott.
Coming in for the Lady Trojans, number 12, Kennedy Keller, and number 25, Bailey Walker.
It's good to see Keller return to the game.
Keller and Walker check into the game. Boatman and Adolph get a rest. Inbound pass into McElroy. Now she'll kick it over to Cowan. Down low to Brown. To Rogers. Her shot off the glass, no good. Comstock with the rebound. Kicks it back out to McElroy. Over to Cowan again. Driving into the lane. She'll elevate. Shot on the way. Short of the mark. And the Trojans just not getting to the rebounds as it comes down to Rogers. And her shot is good. So they got 5 chances at it, and they finally got one to fall. Trojans by 8.
I was going to say, if you get enough second chance opportunities, eventually it's going to fall.
Kester going to take a long three, no good. Rebound Comstock. Now McElroy into the corner. She'll get it back on the wing. Swings it over to Cowan. Now back to McElroy. Shot on the way, off the glass, no good, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. Trojans lead it by 8, 16-8 after 1. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. You're watching Trojan Basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Unbelievable amount of devastation. I've never seen anything like it.
We had a beautiful barn that was gone in 20 minutes.
Farm Bureau stepped up right away and said, hey, we got you and we'll be there for you.
We were taken care of. Now we could get on to repairing and rebuilding.
I tell everybody about Farm Bureau.
We're fortunate to say we have good coverage with good people doing it.
Contact Judd, Lori, Lisa, or Amber in Girard for all your insurance needs.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium. Daryl, I'm going to have to step away for a minute and go run some stairs because my watch is telling me that there's still time to close my workout ring for the day.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, my watch runs my life.
There's always time in the day for a workout.
It also says it's loud in here.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's really concerned about my overall health. Trojans lead.
The robots care about the humans nowadays, right?
Sure they do. Like a farmer cares for his cattle. Trojans leading by 8 after 1. Girard with the ball coming out of the timeout. Adolph with it on the wing. She kicks it to the elbow to Boatman. Her turnaround shot is good, and that hoop's looking like a hula hoop tonight for Erica Boatman as she drops that one in. And the Trojans back up by 10.
She now has 10 points in the game, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, with 1 rebound, she's on her way.
Get a couple more rebounds on Pancake Day tomorrow at the Eastside Cafe. Brown loses it off her leg. I don't know how you give that back to Fort Scott, but they do. Maybe
Oran
got a hand on
it. Yeah.
It'll stay with the Tigers. 7.5 to play first half. They get it into McElroy. Nobody steps out. She hoists a 3, no good. Fortunate for the Trojans, in and out. And Boatman with the rebound. Just a couple more of those. Sisney thought about a 3. Now she'll drive baseline. She's in trouble. Kicks it back out to Keller. Now she'll drive baseline and is blocked and fouled by McElroy.
Yeah, this ref Ref behind us saying this fan behind us saying take away the high post. It's absolutely what you got to do if you're Fort Scott. That's what they want to get the ball is feed it into Boatman.
Hopefully they're not listening to the peanut gallery as Keller's shot off the mark from point-blank range. Comstock with the rebound. And I think Kylie just being there kind of affected that one. Shot on the way from McElroy off the mark. Rebound O'Rand. And Carson will handle it up the floor. So a couple of quick threes on the last couple of possessions by Fort Scott have given the ball right back to the Trojans. Sisney will pull the trigger on a three. Off the back iron. Battle for the rebound. Adolph comes down with it. She's fouled. And Jiraiya will head to the line. I think they're going to get Comstock with this one. Nope. Never mind. They got that one on Lorelei Clark, who just checked into the game. Adolph hits the first. That's first point tonight for Jiraiya. Sisney will sit. Kester back into the game for the Girard. Yarrick into the game for Fort Scott. And McElroy will sit as Adolph hits them both. Trojans by 12. That pass stolen away by Kester. Let's see if the Trojans can track it down, and Adolph comes away with it. Fourth turnover of the night on Fort Scott. Actually, probably their fifth. I didn't count the last one was thrown out of bounds. Keller with it on the far side, drives baseline, and she loses it off her leg. And that'll give it right back to Fort Scott. I have that as the third turnover of the night on the Trojans. Unofficially, of course.
As always.
As all my stats are.
I can tell you one thing. These rebounds are not going to be unofficial.
No. Gerald's keeping very close track of that. There's a foul on the defensive end as Keller kind of runs over Brown from behind after she threw the ball out of bounds. So that's going to be Keller's first. Just the second team foul on the game, first in this quarter on the Trojans. Sisney back into the game. Keller will take a seat with two. Or with one. Shot on the way to the free throw line, no good. Rebound Kester. And here comes O'Rand back the other way for the Trojans. Has it to Boatman outside the three-point line. Erica puts it on the floor, gives it back to Carson. Now Sisney with it, back to O'Rand. Into the middle of the lane to Boatman. Her shot's up and good, and they're not denying that high post, Daryl. And
not
the Trojans up by 14, timeout on the floor. And it's a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here. 5:38 to play first half. Trojans by 14.
It's been Erica Boatman. It's been the Erica Boatman show to start things off. And defensively, they're doing a good job of holding Comstock pretty well quiet right now. I don't want to put anything in the air, but
I don't know if it's the Trojans holding her quiet or her own teammates because they don't seem to really be looking for her too much on the offensive end. They're taking a lot of outside shots.
They've been launching a lot of threes up there when they have the height advantage down low, and they need to test those waters before they really.
You'd think that even if Comstock couldn't get the shot to fall, she'd draw a foul because the Trojans are pretty physical defensively. But Fort Scott just not going to it.
Yeah, I'd like to see them test those inner waters before they really go away from them and get too far down.
But I hope they don't.
I mean, yeah, I guess my biases.
Keep chucking threes.
Like right now.
Gorman. There they go, down low to Comstock. And the bucket in the foul.
Well, I suppose I did put it in the air.
Yep, you manifested that one, buddy.
It's all on me. I'll take the blame. I'll apologize to Coach Herlocker in the postgame.
And unfortunately for the Trojans, that one's on Erica Boatman. That's her second. So now she's got to play a very clean next 5 minutes, 22 seconds. That shot no good. Trojans come away with the rebound. It was Adolph, I believe, who came down with it. Pressure up top. Adolph will give it up to Sisney. Marley picks up her dribble, now gives it back to Jiraiya. Oh, the pass to O'Rand. I don't think Carson was ready for it. She went cutting through a gap, but I don't think she was expecting the pass. And now back to Fort Scott. Trojans' fourth turnover of the first half. As Yarrick with it, but she turns it over. And now the Trojans back with it offensively. 4:42 to play first half. Trojans by 12. Boatman with it. Top of the key. Erica looking for somewhere to go. Gives it up to Orand. Back to Boatman at the elbow. Erica's to take a shot. Off the back iron, no good. Rebound Comstock. You got to follow your shot. Now Yarrick with it up top to Comstock. Top of the key. She's going to try and take Adolph off the dribble. And she does. And if I'm Fort Scott, that girl needs ball in her hands every time down the floor.
I'd say I would really simplify the offense.
Yeah.
Try and get it in 23's hands.
Every time. 22-12, Trojans lead it. Nice look to find an open Adolph under the bucket. Jiraiya with her first field goal of the night. She's got 4 points. Trojan lead back to 12. Comstock battling for position down low. Trojans double teaming her wisely. They try and go over the top to her. The pass picked off by Adolph. I have that as a 7th turnover of the first half on the Lady Tigers. Oran back up top to Adolph. Trojans setting up the half court. Sisney with it on the wing. She'll dribble the top of the key. Directing traffic. Now gets it to Boatman, top of the key. Erica thought about it. Now down low to Kester. Off the glass, no good. And they're going to whistle a foul. And Maddie will earn a trip to the line. That one probably not popular with the folks in front of us here, Daryl.
Well, no, because it was on their team. Yeah. Either way.
And it didn't look like a whole lot of contact. I think Maddie just almost fell down on her own, but
however you can draw it.
Whatever. She hits the first free throw. 4 points now for Kester.
Yeah.
And Orand will sit along with Keller and Boatman. And we've got Sisney. Oh, no. Okay, Keller and Orand are going to stay. Boatman and Keller will sit. Sisney, Orand, Adolph, and Kester are the 5 on the floor right now for the Trojans. And Maddie hits them both. 5 points for Maddie Kester. Trojans by 14. Here comes Gorman. Pass into the corner, almost stolen away. They're fortunate to keep that one. Comstock with it. She gives it up to Brown. Into the corner to Gorman. She'll put it on the floor, into the lane, cut off, kicks it over, shot on the way from McElroy, off the back iron, over the top of the backboard, and that'll turn it back over to the Trojans. I have that as number 8. Girard in no hurry here, under 3 minutes to play first half. Get it to Kester at the elbow. Maddie spinning into the lane, working against Comstock. Shot on the way, won't go. Rebound comes down to McElroy. And it's tipped away from behind by Kennedy Keller. It'll stay with Fort Scott, but that kind of takes him out of rhythm there.
A little bit. It's a great play by Keller. She just comes flying from behind, and everyone in the stands is screaming wolf.
Mm-hmm.
The stands who cried wolf, I suppose, but she didn't hear him, and she's able to just poke that out of bounds.
Gorman with it, guarded by Adolph. They're trying to get it to Comstock, and they do way out past three-point line, guarded by Keller, who just took an elbow in the chest from Comstock. So I think Kennedy's going to be a little more energetic defensively against her. Shot on the way off the mark, and the loose ball comes down to Kester. We'll give her a rebound for that one. And here comes Orand, guarded closely by Brown. Back up top to Adolph. Fort Scott, well, Brown anyway, trying to pick up the defensive intensity a little bit. Trojans deal with it. Up top to Kester, open for 3. Maddie will take it, no good, off the back iron. Long rebound chased down by McElroy, and here comes Fort Scott. Trojans need to get the defense set. McElroy loses the dribble, and Sisney comes away with it. Turnover number 9 in the first half against the Tigers. Keller down low. Kester spinning, had it poked away, got it back, saved it in bounds, and it ends up with Kennedy Keller. Trojans quick to the ball tonight. Minute 34 left to play. No shot clock in the CNC. Kester, three-pointer straight away. No good off the back iron. Tipped around. They're going to get a foul against Keller, going over the back against McElroy.
Yeah.
That's 2 on Keller. And if you're Coach Herlocker, you want to get Kennedy out of the game to protect her for that second half. You're going to need her down the stretch.
Yeah, she's had the hefty duty of guarding Comstock all night long, and even though she's got the height disadvantage, she's done very well against her so far.
She's also got a rockin' goose egg. I think that might be from maybe the Frontenac game even.
Just her every day-to-day life,
yeah,
I think.
mean, she probably goes all out getting on the bus. All right, there's another turnover. Number 10, O'Rand off and running with it, and a blocking foul. Going to be whistled against Allie Brown. That's 2 on Brown. And
Allie Brown, her second, team fourth. To the line, shooting to number 22, Carson O'Rand.
Now Allison Wheeler getting set to check into the game.
Coming in for the Lady Tigers, number 4, Allison Wheeler.
And O'Rand hits the second. A little half-court trap, and there's another turnover. Trojans come away with it. They head to O'Rand, lost it off her knee, gets it back, and they're just going to have to set up in the half court. Now down to Bailey Walker, working against Comstock, looking for somewhere to go with it, and they're going to whistle Walker for the travel. As she moved her pivot foot, Comstock got a hand on the ball, and that kind of disrupted the timing for Walker. And she turns it over.
Yeah, that really could have gone either way between a jump ball or a travel. Travel's what's called. Either way, it's going to go in the possession of Fort Scott.
Now Cowan with it. They get it down low to Comstock, and she's fouled. And they're going to whistle this one on Bailey Walker, which is just fine for the Trojans because that's her first. And Walker is expected to bring the physicality when she comes into the game, replacing Boatman. And she did it right there. Bailey's going to try and strip that one away again. There's a held ball. And possession arrow favoring Fort Scott. They'll get another shot at the inbound play.
I think a huge halftime adjustment for Coach Steps over there for Fort Scott is going to be these passes. These have been some lazy passes that allowed the Trojans to really get in there and have a lot of steals.
Shot off the mark. Rebound battled for. And the Trojans come away with it. Adolph with it. Heading up the floor. Under 20 seconds left first half. Trojans can hold for last shot. 15 and counting. Baseline, O'Rand, shot on the way. She's fouled, and I think they're going to get Comstock with that one. And if they do, it's her third, and it is.
Fouls on number 23, Kylie Comstock, her first team fifth.
And if you're the Trojans, I think second half, you just keep going right at her.
Yeah, she's tall. Normally tall people have that urge to want to stick that hand up and go for the block because it's real sweet getting the block. But more often than not, that's going to draw a foul, so that's what you got to do.
And she kind of swiped at it.
Right.
And if you keep straight up and down, you may not get that call, but if you swipe at it, you're definitely going to get called. 3 free throws in a row made by Carson O'Rand. Trojans lead it by 17. Wide open three, way off the mark. And a long rebound tracked down by Rogers, and that's going to do it for the first half. 2 quarters in the books. Trojans lead at 29-12 over the Fort Scott Tigers. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the GN Bank halftime show. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Since 1918, GN Bank has been the heart of our community. Big enough to meet all your banking needs, but small enough to offer that personal touch you deserve. From agricultural loans to home mortgages, GN Bank has the expertise, products, and service to help you thrive. With a pledge to treat others ethically, be adaptable, focus on customers, and invest in the communities they serve, GN Bank is committed to your success. The best place to bank and borrow, GN Bank, where community banking truly comes first. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Selling equipment can be a hassle. Whether you're needing to replace an old tractor or you're finally getting to retire, the time and energy needed to clean, prep, promote, and sell seems daunting. That's why you need Tyler Jackman and Big Iron Auctions. From one piece to the whole farm, Big Iron Auctions can deliver your items to more than 750,000 registered bidders. Call Tyler Jackman at 620-404-8115 or learn more at BigIronAuctions.com.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Chicken Annie's Girard. When you're facing a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Catering and carry out from Chicken Annie's Girard. When an onion ring craving is too much to bear, when the family's coming over and you weren't aware, it's Chicken Annie's Girard to the rescue. When there's 20, 30, 100 to feed, you need Chicken Annie's Girard indeed. A heroic value, superb flavor. When there's a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Chicken Annie's Girard.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a house, land, or commercial space, look no further than Lehman Realty. Locally owned and operated, Jason Lehman and his staff are ready to meet the needs of every client. When it comes to your listing, you can trust that Lehman Realty will take the time to get to know you and your property. Lehman Realty is a proud supporter of Girard Trojan Athletics. Learn more at www.lehmanrealty.net. or call Jason at 620-724-8020.
More than just your neighborhood pharmacy, Mathis Drug is your hometown partner in health. With pharmacist Bria Scheibe and an experienced, highly trained staff, Mathis Drug is ready to serve you. And now, Mathis Drug offers comprehensive compounding, which is one of the few pharmacies in Southeast Kansas with this convenient on-site service. From medications to expert advice, call 620-261-9779. Mathis Drug Store, where community and care come together.
From the phone call to the service call, Roto-Rooter is there with fast and reliable sewer and drain service. From repair and replacement to septic and grease trap pumping, Roto-Rooter is here for you. With video inspections, Roto-Rooter can identify the exact issue to get the repair done quickly and correctly. Complete sewer line repairs or replacements, Roto-Rooter has you covered. Serving Crawford, Bourbon, and Cherokee counties, Roto-Rooter, 620-231-5630.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor. We're at halftime of the girls' matchup between the Girard Trojans and the Fort Scott Tigers. This is the GN Bank halftime show brought to you by GN Bank, where they've been providing customers with highest quality financial services in a friendly and personal way for over 100 years. Personal, business, or agricultural needs, turn to GN Bank. Learn more at gn-bank.com. All right, well, the Trojans up by 17 over the Fort Scott Tigers. And, Darryl, what we said they needed to do, they pretty much did.
Yes.
We said they needed to take good care of the basketball in the first half and hit some outside shots, try and loosen up that Fort Scott defense. And they've done just that. Trojans with a double-digit lead here at the half. I guess this would be the time to take a look at some of those halftime stats brought to you by B&B Excavating. The numbers don't lie, dirt's heavy, so trust the guys at B&B Excavating to move what needs moving. Specializing in septic systems, water line install and repair, driveways, rock hauling and leveling. Call B&B Excavating at 620-724-2735. All right, those scoring totals. First for the Fort Scott Tigers, this won't take long. They're led in scoring by Kylie Comstock. J.C. Rogers, she has 6. J.C. Rogers has 4. And Abby Gorman with 2 to round out the scoring for the Tigers. And that Trojan defense doing a heck of a job holding them to just 12 points in a half. That's 2 quarters of basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, Trojans, they're led in scoring by Erica Boatman. She's got 12, 8 of those coming in the first quarter. Then Maddie Kester and Kennedy Keller have 5 points each. Jariah Adolph with 4 and Carson O'Rand with 3, all those coming from the charity stripe in the second quarter to round out the scoring for the Trojans. But really in this game so far, the big story's been the turnovers. Fort Scott's committed double-digit turnovers in that first half. The Trojans with just 5. And so if you're Coach Herlocker, you got to be happy about that effort your girls are putting out on the floor tonight against a very quality team. And Coach Steps, his team's got a long way to go to dig out of this hole.
Absolutely. And a few more of those stats to go along with that. I about said Madison. I read straight off the roster. Maddie, she's getting awful close to that double-double. She's probably the closest out of them. She's got 4 rebounds to her name, 2 assists and 3 steals. Erica Boatman doing everything on the floor with her, 2 rebounds to her name, 1 assist, a steal, and a block. Sisney has a steal, Jariah has a steal, and overall the Girard Trojans are playing excellent on defense and holding Comstock and Brown to some very quiet games.
And it's your first time watching. The reason we're so concerned about somebody getting a double-double is that when a Trojan player gets a double-double, it means $2 short stacks at Eastside Cafe, the best breakfast in Crawford County. And
best.
I like a good hot cake. I don't know about you, Daryl.
Absolutely,
but,
I do.
I like a good pancake myself, if you can't tell by my acute case of Dunlop's disease, where my belly's Dunlopped over my belt. But I like pancakes, so we're hoping that the Trojans keep it up here in the second half. And, of course, Trojan boys getting set to take on the Fort Scott boys in the nightcap. And we saw them out here warming up earlier, and they're both a couple teams who just really kind of haven't found their rhythm yet this season. There's some games where the Trojan boys look really good, and other games where they look out of sorts. And of course, you count your opponent as a factor in that as well. But both teams have played pretty tough schedules thus far this season. Trojans with a little bit better record, but Fort Scott out here warming up on the floor. They look like they ought to be a pretty good team, and so we should have a good game on the boys' side tonight in the nightcap. We'll step away for another break. When we come back, second half action. Trojan girls, Tiger girls coming up right after this on Girard Sports Live.
Communicating with current and potential customers is a must in the world of business. Advertising is nothing more than communication and an invitation. Look no further than Norris Advertising, offering a wide variety of services from billboards, radio across the 4 states, and digital ad services like ZTV, YouTube, geofencing, streaming, and more beyond the local view. Looking to upgrade your storefront? Norris Advertising is your go-to for local digital sign sales. Norris Advertising. Get your ads to work.
Chicken Annie's of Girard is something to crow about. Their family-style restaurant continues a Southeast Kansas tradition with their specialty, fried chicken, plus famous homemade onion rings, chicken and noodles, and so much more. And of course, their delicious homemade pies. Dine in or carry out available. Chicken Annie's of Girard has the best value, flavor, and service in the area. Stop in soon or call for catering. 620-724-4090.
You've enjoyed life. Over the years, your community has become your passion, something you hope future generations get to experience, just as you have. That's why the Girard Area Community Foundation has worked hard to help fulfill charitable goals and inspire generosity, meeting the needs of the communities they serve. Creating a legacy fund with GACF ensures what you leave behind is an effective and lasting improvement in the community you love so dearly. Make plans to visit GirardAreaFoundation.com, preserving traditions for those who follow.
Yeah. That's just unimaginative play calling, Daryl. That's what it was.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're talking about the Chiefs game off the air, and it just bled over. But what a win Sunday night for the Chiefs. Back in action in the Super Bowl. Woo! Coming up here in 10 days, 12 days, something like that.
Boy, I wish I was traveling to New Orleans for that.
Well, any day's a good day to be in New Orleans. Well, I could, unless it's Hurricane Katrina, but
right.
Maybe too soon on that. But it's exciting nonetheless to have your team in the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight year, and they've already surpassed any other team seeking a three-peat. That's exciting, but I don't know why the Bills kept running that tush-push 5 times in a row. It only worked twice. And, hats off to that Chiefs defense. All right, back underway here at Ted R. Taylor. Trojan girls up by 17 to start the 3rd quarter. Girard with the ball. Boatman guarded by Comstock, gets it over to Oran. She's going to drive baseline. A lot of contact, no foul. Boatman comes down with a loose ball. Her shot up off the glass, no good. And there's now a foul. As Fort Scott came down with the rebound. Let's see if they're going to whistle on this one. They're going to get Kennedy Keller on it. That's a rough foul for the Trojans. That is a rough foul.
Yeah, that being her third.
And Keller will stay in. She's just going to have to play clean. They kick it back out. Gorman spinning, throwing it to no one in particular, and Boatman comes away with it for the Trojans. Now Adolph with it across the timeline. Under 7.5 to play, third quarter. Trojans still leading by 17. Keller back over to O'Rand. Looking for a backdoor cut to Kester. Gets it off the glass, no good. Partially deflected by Comstock. Rebound to Boatman. The putback's good, and the foul. And that is, I believe, number 2 on Comstock.
Erica Boatman gets the steal on the other end, comes down, gets the rebound off of that backdoor cut to Kester, and then puts it home for the and one. What a game she is having.
Off the back iron on the free throw, no good. Rebound comes down to Comstock, and just like that, Keller picks up her 4th foul. And Kennedy's going to have to sit, and she's upset with herself on that one. And man, 2 quick ones on Keller, and that hurts the Trojans. Nonetheless, sitting on a 31-12 lead, 7 minutes to play third quarter. Probably won't see Keller until the fourth quarter now. Driving into the lane, shot on the way. Looked like Kester got a clean block, but they're going to whistle a foul, and it'll send Claire McElroy to the line to shoot a pair. And Trojans got to watch out for this foul trouble. You got Boatman with 3, Keller with 4, and fortunately for Kester, just her first as McElroy hits the first free throw. And if you're Fort Scott, that's how you get back in this game, is get to the free throw line, score while the clock's not moving.
Fortunately for the Trojans, I believe Adolph is taking up the duty of guarding Comstock, so you don't have to worry about Boatman getting those fouls down low and when she would normally be contesting Comstock.
You just got to worry about her getting there aggressively to help.
Absolutely.
Trojan leading it 31-14. Back up by 17. Boatman with it on the wing, thought about a 3. Now she's going to take it off the mark. Nobody there for the rebound for Girard, and McElroy comes away with it for Fort Scott. She handles it up the floor. Somebody's got to pick her up. And her pass to the outside is, and there's going to be a travel call against Comstock. She doesn't like it, but we've seen that called that way all year. And it'll be Trojan ball after the turnover, the 13th of the night against Fort Scott. O'Rand with it off the inbound. Trojans do not need to hurry anything at this point. 6.5 to play third quarter. Sisney with it over to Adolph. Kester on the wing, back down low to Marley. Now Maddie Kester down the lane, working off the glass, no good. Rebound Comstock. And Fort Scott with it, 6:15 third quarter. Here comes Gorman down the lane, looking for help, spins around, shot on the way, no good. Rebound Boatman. Better get that in your stat column, Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
O'Rand with it across half court. Over to Sisney on the near wing. She'll dribble top of the key, gives it back up to Kester. Down low to O'Rand, open, and the bucket is good. It's O'Rand's first field goal. She's got 5 points. Trojans by 18. 19. Pass tipped away, intended for Comstock. Adolph's got some good length. And I think they.
Foul's on number 22, Carson O'Rand.
Okay, got this one on O'Rand. That's her first. 4th team foul on the Trojans, though.
Yeah, she didn't look too shocked by it, though, so I didn't see what happened, but whenever she did, I think she knew she committed that foul.
I didn't see what happened as far as she's concerned. The pass went into McElroy. Somebody's got to pick her up. Pass inside, picked off by Boatman. That's 14th turnover. Erica pumps the brakes. Now she'll give it up to Adolph, and again, Trojans don't need to hurry. No shot clock. No hurries, no worries. O'Rand to the elbow, picks up her dribble, needs some help, gives it up to Adolph. Cutting through the lane, now she'll dish it out to Sisney. Trojans doing a little bit of weave. Wrap around pass to Boatman. Her shot no good off the front iron. And it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Erica, and it'll be Fort Scott ball. I think she was way more open than she expected and didn't use the backboard.
Well, she's been hitting that turnaround jumper on the elbow all night long, and then this time,
way closer.
No one was around her, and she's within 3 feet of the basket. That hula hoop suddenly turns into a golf hole.
Yeah,
a thimble. I like that.
Yeah, you like that? I'm full of them. Cowan with it outside, and there's going to be a foul called inside as Adolph working against Comstock. And I think they're going to give Jiraiya the foul.
Foul's on number 11, Jiraiya.
That's her first.
Number 1, shooter 2, number 23, Kylie Comstock.
Yeah, and that foul trouble that Keller got in, and then a couple of other Trojans picking up fouls now puts Fort Scott into the bonus.
As Comstock hits the first.
So Trojans are going to be very careful to play a clean game for the rest of this third.
That's her 7th point of the night. Cuts the lead to 18. Second one off the mark, off the front iron. Rebound Boatman. Man, we got to be double-double now. It's got to be.
Well, unfortunately, Boatman only has 5 rebounds, but she's on her path.
Are you watching the same game I'm watching, Daryl?
I ain't going to fib totals.
Ran down low to Adolph. Her shot no good, and let's see who they whistle the foul on. As Dry going to the hole, and they get it on Comstock. That's her third.
So now
keep doing it.
Both teams having some key players facing foul trouble.
Adolph's first shot is good. Yarick into the game, replacing Allie Brown. For Fort Scott. Second shot on the way from Adolph is good. Jiraiya drills them both. She's got 6 points. Trojans lead it by 20. Not what I was expecting out of this game, Daryl.
Not at all. I can't ever underestimate our girls, though.
I'm sorry, Yarick with it. Now to Ryla Cowan. Back to Yarick. She'll elevate from the elbow, in and out. No good. Rebound, Boatman. And it's a held ball, and it favors Fort Scott once again. Seems like the possession arrow is always in their favor. So Cowan to inbound from the baseline. You know who they want to get it to. Trojans are double teaming you. Comstock. And that one out of bounds off the foot of, I believe it was Kester. And so now Cowan will inbound from in front of the Tiger bench. Gets it into Gorman. She'll dribble up top of the key. Over to Cowan, top of the lane to Yarick. Down low, shot on the way, no good. Rebound comes down to Boatman for the Trojans. And again, Girard, no hurry. Okay, Adolph will pull the trigger on a 3, in and out, no good. Rebound comes down to J.C. Rogers. That was a fast possession for Girard and didn't need to have a shot that quick.
She was very wide open, though. I understand taking it.
Cowan tries to dribble across the lane. I think she knocked knees or something with one of the Trojans, and she'll head to the free throw line. They get this foul on Marley Sisney. That's her first.
It's one of the better situations for the Trojans as far as fouling goes.
Yeah, but nonetheless, you give Cowan 2 shots with the clock stopped, and she hits the first. That clock is your extra man right now if you're the Trojans, and you just want to let it run. Comstock takes a seat for Fort Scott. Second shot is good for Cowan, so 2 for 2 from the stripe. She's got 2 points. And trims the lead to 18. Rand almost lost her dribble there in the corner. Now she's in trouble. It's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Trojans. Trojans need to settle down a little bit on the offensive end and realize that the object is to take a lot of time to get a good shot. They'll get it into Boatman, wide open, off the glass and good. 16 points for Boatman. Trojans back up by 20. And a block and a takeaway by Boatman. Put that in your stats.
Oh, yeah. It's her second block of the game.
Adolph with it, top of the key, over to Orand. Now Sisney with it on the wing, back up top to Orand. Picks up her dribble at the elbow, gives it up to Kester. She'll pull the trigger on a three. No good. Rebound Boatman. She's fouled. And the official's going to talk this over. Fort Scott wants a travel, but the official called a foul. And now they're trying to decide maybe who to call it on. They're calling that one on number 32, Allie Collinshaw, who's just checked into the game.
Not to get anyone's hopes up, but Erica Boatman is 2 rebounds away from a double-double.
And they're going to say Orand stepped on the line, and that's going to turn it over to Fort Scott. And that's a head-scratcher. Another call you don't see every day, Darryl.
I was going to say, you don't see that one very often.
Gorman handling it up the floor for Fort Scott. Trojans leading by 20 with 2:30 left to play, third quarter. And they're going to whistle that foul against Boatman. She shouldn't have slapped at it. You can't slap at it like that, or you're going to get the call every time. That's Boatman's third. I had it as her fourth, so fortunately just her third. And it's a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here, and the Trojans with a 20-point lead, but they got to be careful with the foul trouble because you got Boatman with 3, Keller with 3.
Keller's got 4 on the bench.
Or I'm sorry, 4, and several other girls playing with just 1. But those 2 players are key defenders, rebounders, and everything else for the Trojans. In fact, they're 2 of your leading scorers thus far, and you cannot afford for those girls to get in foul trouble. So if the message probably needs to be just don't foul.
Yeah.
On down the stretch, stop doing that.
As simple as it gets.
Yeah. But it's hard to do. It's a physical game, and
that's the way Trojans play.
These Trojan girls play it one way, and that is physical and fast.
They've got one gear.
Yep.
Now it's more fun to watch. I'll tell you that much.
It is. It's like, telling somebody to cruise around town in a drag racer.
Yeah, for Boatman though, definitely needs to stay out of foul trouble because she's 2 rebounds away from a double-double.
Right.
And the town of Girard needs her.
Yeah, just for our pancake purposes, stay out of foul trouble. Pull down some more boards. Or pick up 7 more blocks, whatever you want to do. Second shot off the mark. Rebound, Boatman.
1 away.
1 away. We're counting it down, folks. 1 away from a $2 short stack at Eastside Cafe. Kester with it on the wing. She'll dribble top of the key, gives it back up to Orand. Now Carson will back it out a little bit, and they'll reset that half-court offense for the Trojans. 2:10 and counting to play third quarter. Girard does not need to hurry anything here. Pretty much going to the old Dean Smith 4-corner drill. Kester into the corner to Orand. She'll pull the trigger on a 3. No good off the back iron. Comstock with it. And if you're the Trojans, you'd like to see it driven into the lane, take a shot in there. Don't settle for a 3-point bucket when you don't need them.
Have resulted in some empty possessions.
Right. Forced shot off the top of the backboard. That should not be good. That should not be good.
No, it counts. If it doesn't go over the top of that backboard, it's not out of bounds.
It hit the rope that's still shaking. That should have been out of bounds. Down on the other end, Orand with the bucket and the foul.
Well, there you go, Josh. Ball doesn't lie.
Yeah.
She gets hers back. But, I mean, that's more of a circus shot than anything. You got to let that one stand.
Foul number 10, Allie Brown, her third, team fourth. To the line for the AM1, number 22, Carson Orand. And coming in for the Lady Trojans, number 25, Bailey Walker.
Got the foul on Allie Brown. It'll send Carson Orand to the line to try and attempt the old-fashioned 3-point play. Orand's shot rattles in. 8 points for Carson Orand. Trojans by 20 as Fort Scott's been unable to make up hardly any ground here in this third quarter. Down around a minute. Cowan gets it back out to Brown. Now back over to Cowan. She'll put it on the floor, almost walked with it, middle of the lane, shot on the way, no good, off the back iron. Rebound comes down to Kester. She gets it to Adolph, and the Trojans have it back. Good strong rebound by Kester. Good job getting that ball out of traffic as Comstock didn't give up on it. Now Sisney with it, back up top to Kester. Trojans should hold for last shot here, you would think. Oran down low to Kester, great position, into the corner to Adolph. Now back up top to Sisney. Gives it up to Oran. 30 seconds, Trojans taking some time here. Adolph going to put it on the floor, kicks it back out to Sisney. Marley with it, swinging it around to Oran.
Yeah, at the start of this possession, I remember Herlocker saying last shot, so I imagine they'll drain this one all the way down and get out of this third quarter with a double points of the Tigers' lead.
Yeah. There's a moving screen going to be called against the Trojans, and that's not what you need, especially that far away from the basketball. Coach Herlocker's a little perplexed by it, and that's on Kester. That's her second. Not a good foul for the Trojans. Because you really want to keep Kester out of foul trouble. She's your last physical defensive presence who doesn't have a bunch of fouls. Bailey Walker in the game right now as well for Girard as Boatman and Keller getting a break. That shot partially blocked. Sisney comes away with it for Girard. Adolph with it, and that'll do it for the third quarter. Trojans lead it by 20. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
A partner in your fields and in your success. That's what you get with Murphy Seed. Channel seedsman Matt Murphy knows your fields and can recommend the elite seed products designed to perform in your area, maximizing the profitability of every acre. With Murphy Seed, you'll get year-round, hands-on, customized service. To learn more, call Murphy Seed at 620-249-6419. Your partner at every stage. Matt Murphy and Murphy Seed.
When it comes to your health care, you have a choice. Choose to stay local. Choose Girard Medical Center. For over 100 years, Girard Medical Center has been a part of the community, and they work every day to meet the healthcare needs of those they serve. With 6 locations in southeast Kansas and an ever-expanding list of inpatient and outpatient services, you just don't have to travel anymore to get quality cutting-edge care, including many services you won't find elsewhere. Proud to serve Girard and the surrounding area. Learn more at girardmedicalcenter.com.
Welcome back. 1 quarter left to play in this girls matchup between the Trojans and the Fort Scott Tigers. Girard leading it by 20, 40-20. And it's been a physical back and forth game. The Trojans have definitely held their own in this one. But they do have a couple girls playing in foul trouble right now. And right now, Erica Boatman out on the floor playing with 4 fouls. And so we'll see how deep into this quarter she can go. O'Rand with it. Trojans will have the ball to start the fourth quarter. Gives it up to Walker. Sisney. Back to Adolph. Sisney will drive, picks up her dribble. Now she's in trouble. Gives it up to O'Rand. Driving baseline into the corner. Shot on the way from Walker. Way off the mark. Rebound Boatman.
There it is.
There it is.
The double-double.
I'm not sure if you count that as a rebound or a lob pass. And there's a call as we got some blood as I think O'Rand took a shot in the nose. Funny, I didn't see a foul called, but O'Rand will come out to stop the bleeding. She looks like she's okay. She didn't look like to be in a whole bunch of pain, but sometimes you get hit in the nose and you don't even realize it and it's bleeding.
Yeah, sometimes it just starts bleeding too.
Right, yeah, that, no doubt, huh? Adolph with it, dribble out of trouble. Trojans, this possession could take about 4 minutes if you're trying to be okay with that.
Yep.
Kester with it at the wing. Going to give it back up to Adolph. Dribbles out of trouble. Now back over to Sisney. To Bailey Walker. And she's fouled. They're going to whistle this one on Abby Gorman. That's her third. First team foul on Fort Scott in the fourth quarter.
Foul on number 2, Abby Gorman, her third, team first.
Sisney to inbound. Gets it into Adolph in the backcourt. She'll bring it across. Hands it off to Walker. Now back to Sisney and Kester with it on the deep wing. Back to Sisney, backs into the elbow, kicks it back out to Adolph. Back around to Walker. And back to Kester at the elbow. Has it knocked away, gets it back. Walker has it stripped away at the last second by Gorman. Not what you wanted if you're the Trojans, but it did take a lot of time to get there. Comstock with it down low. Her shot no good. And she's fouled. I think they're going to get Bailey Walker with this one. Let's hope it's not on Boatman. And it is on Walker.
Number 25, Bailey Walker, her second, team first. To the line, shooting 2, number 23, Kylie Comstock.
Sends Comstock to the line to shoot a pair, making her earn it. First one is good.
Coming in for the Lady Tigers, number 4, Allison Wheeler, and number 12.
That's 8 points for Comstock. Wheeler into the game, replacing Claire McElroy, who will take a seat. Both shots good for Comstock. Trojans get it into Keller, now back to Adolph. Jiraiya working away from a trap. Gives it up to Walker, back to Adolph. Swinging around the horn now. Kester with it on the deep wing. Back up top to Walker, and she throws it away again. Clark with it, and it's out of bounds. It's going to be Trojan basketball. Fort Scott turns it over. A clutch situation there as they were looking to eat into this 18-point lead. Walker will sit Oran back into the game.
Yeah, now in the game you got your main starters, hopefully some cleaner passes throughout, avoid any turnovers, get this lead back up, and safely walk out of this game.
Oran splits double team, gets across the timeline. Adolph with it, back up top to Keller. Now Kester with it on the wing, back over to Keller. She'll hoist the three. In and out. Tipped out of bounds. They're going to say last touch by Trojans.
Subbing in for the Lady Tigers, number 1, Rayleigh Cowan.
Gorman will take a seat. And Rayleigh Cowan back in the game for Fort Scott. Under 6 minutes to play. And there's a walk. And they'll turn it back over.
Subbing in for the Lady Tigers, number 20, Claire McElroy.
McElroy back into the game after a breather. She'll replace Lorelei Clark. Trojans get it into Oran, back over to Adolph. Keller, back to Adolph. Trojans need to get it across the timeline here. And they do to Oran, into the middle of the lane to Boatman. Thought about a shot. Now she realizes I just need to burn more time, and there's going to be a foul called against Cowan. That should be her first, and it is.
Rayleigh Cowan, her first, team second.
Adolph will inbound from in front of the Trojan bench as Yarick into the game, replacing McElroy, who will take a seat, and I think they're swapping offense for defense here as much as they can. Our Fort Scott. O'Rand asking for a little bit of help, gets it from Kester. They'll swing it around the horn to Kennedy Keller. Back over to Adolph, wide open for three. Jiraiya will take it and hits. That's making them pay for the double team right there as Jiraiya Adolph drills the open three. Back the other way. Here comes Cowan. Down the lane, shot off the glass and good. And the Trojans did a good job not fouling there as Girard with the 21-point lead. Or I'm sorry, the 19-point lead. Adolph content to just stand there with it until somebody guards her. Now Keller with it. They're going to come trap Kennedy. She dribbles through it, but Coach Herlocker called a 30-second timeout. It'll stay right here.
We have a timeout, Girard. It's a 30-second timeout.
Got a pretty steady lead over Fort Scott, and the idea of coming back is going to be a tall one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tall task for Fort Scott. They definitely can do it, but they're playing with a lot of fouls, and the Girard defense isn't letting anything up.
You got to make some outside shots if you're Fort Scott, and they just really haven't been able to do that tonight.
No.
Most everything that they've made's either been from the free throw line or within 10 feet of the bucket.
Yep.
And the Trojans have gotten just enough outside shots to fall to loosen up that defense, and they've also got some timely rebounds and putbacks. And they've been playing their usual brand of defense, which has forced Fort Scott to commit I got them at 17 turnovers now. So if you're the Trojans, you just keep on keeping on for 4 minutes, 47 seconds.
Yeah, and something you mentioned is that 3-ball hitting for Girard. Jariah hitting that 3 right there is kind of a nail in the coffin, if you will.
Yeah, and it's if you're going to double team us on the outside, you're going to pay for it. And O'Rand almost got an over and back. Now gives it up to Kester. Man, that was kind of shaky there for a second. Now Adolph with it. Top of the key is Fort Scott trying to turn up the intensity. O'Rand is fouled. I don't know, but that foul is going to be whistled against Comstock, and if it is, it's her 4th, and it is. And again, that's the same thing we talked about with Boatman. If she'd have just stayed straight up, she'd have probably got the block.
Yep.
But she swiped down at the ball, and whether you get it clean or not, when you're making that motion, the official's going to call a foul 9 times out of 10. And O'Rand hits the first. Clark into the game, replacing Yarrick for Fort Scott. Second shot on the way is good for O'Rand. She's got 10. Trojans leading it by 21. Content to let Fort Scott hoist up outside shots. They try to wrap it around inside to Yarrick, and there's a foul inside. I don't know if they get it on Boatman. That's it for Erica tonight.
They're going to get it on Adolph.
And it is on Adolph.
Adolph was guard, and she was trying to stop Comstock from getting the ball down low and had a little reach around, and that's going to get called almost every time, but it's better than Comstock being open under the basket.
They get the entry pass in. The shot is up and good for Rogers. That's her 6th point of the night. Cuts the Trojan lead to 18. Errant pass. Adolph gets it back, saves it in bounds to Boatman, and then they're going to whistle a walk on O'Rand as she just wasn't sure where to go with the ball.
I do think this Adolph play on the line probably should have been an over in the back.
Yeah.
So maybe just the ball don't lie there.
A couple different times should have been a turnover on the Trojans.
Yeah,
so,
there were some iffy spots.
Yeah, that whole thing there was iffy. Under 4 minutes to play. Trojans leading it by 19. Fort Scott's got to work a little bit quicker here if they want to get back into this one. Allison Wheeler with it, and there's a travel going to be called against Fort Scott. I have that as their 18th turnover of the game.
I think I've seen more bodies hit the floor and this.
I don't know. That girls' JV game might have taken.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It was like a 5-car pileup every time down the floor. There's a push in the back against O'Rand, and they're going to whistle that one against Cowan. That'll be her 2nd.
Fouls on number 1, Rayleigh Cowan, her 2nd, team 4th.
And it's not going to be shots as O'Rand was standing at the free throw line. She looks like a prize fighter. She's got something jammed up her nose.
Yeah. Tissue, piece of clay, whatever it is.
Yeah, rock from the parking lot, I'm not for sure. Over the top, and O'Rand's going to have to chase it down, and she does, then loses her footing.
Yeah.
Travel against O'Rand, and again, that didn't look good from the start, and Trojans not a good time to start being loose with the basketball. Brown and Comstock back into the game for Fort Scott, replacing Cowan and Clark. They'll get it in to Comstock. Now back around, shot on the way from Brown, in and out, no good. Rebound, Sisney. And the Trojans dodge a bullet there because that was an open look. Now Trojans don't get in a hurry. Sisney with it, cut off. A lot of contact on the outside. And it's going to be Trojan ball. A timeout as Coach Herlocker trying to preserve the possession as That's Allison Wheeler is pretty slow getting up, holding her head. It's a full timeout, but wait a minute here. All right, we'll step away for a break as well. Trojans leading it by 19. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Chicken Annie's of Girard is something to crow about. Their family-style restaurant continues a Southeast Kansas tradition with their specialty fried chicken, plus famous homemade onion rings, chicken and noodles, and so much more. And of course, their delicious homemade pies. Dine in or carry out available. Chicken Annie's of Girard has the best value, flavor, and service in the area. Stop in soon or call for catering. 620-724-4090.
Why settle for less than the best? Croc-Can's gigabit fiber optic internet is now available to Pittsburgh, Frontenac, and Fort Scott, and many rural areas in between. Croc-Can has the best speeds, the best reliability, the best service, the best support, and is overall the best value on all ultra-high-speed internet. If you want the best home internet connecting as many devices, all without equipment rentals, contracts, or overages, it is the time to switch to the best. It's time to switch to Croc-Can.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor. 3:13 to play in the game. Trojans leading by 19. And the Trojans have had some spurts where they've turned the ball over or offensive possessions that haven't looked good. But Fort Scott unable to make up any ground in this quarter against Girard. They're trying to pick up some intensity defensively out on the perimeter. But again, Trojans do a good job breaking that. And they're going to make this possession take as long as they can. And there's a foul on the outside. They're going to whistle this one on Allie Brown. That's her fourth. And that's a 15 foul on Fort Scott. It's going to send Carson Oran to the line, and she's I'm not going to talk about it. She's had a pretty good night from the stripe tonight. Hits the first.
Good choice. Very good choice, Josh.
Yeah, avoid the jinx when at all possible. She hits them both. Oran's hit her last 5 from the line. She's 8 of 9 from the stripe tonight. Brown with it on the other end for Fort Scott, and they've got to work a little bit quicker than what they're doing right now. Working it around the perimeter. Yarrick with it. Shot straight away off the back iron. No good. Rebound, Kester. Maddie's going to dribble out of trouble. Down the floor being trailed. Now she'll stop. Gives it up to Sisney, and the Trojans will go back to burning a little bit of the clock. 2.5 to play. Kester with it. Gives it up to Oran. Oran, not one Fort Scott wants to foul, so they kind of let her dribble around with it. Now Kester, back to Oran. Picks up her dribble. Now she needs some help. Gives it up to Maddie. Back to Oran. Into the lane, into Comstock. Off the glass, no good. Rebound comes down to Comstock. She's off and running. Leading the break. Working into Sisney, off the glass and good. Nobody picked her up. She got deep into the lane and gets the bucket. 11 for Comstock so far tonight. Kester driving, and she's fouled by J.C. Rogers. That'll be 2 on Rogers. And now Kester will head to the line to shoot a pair. Stops the clock with 1:49 left to play.
To the line, shooting to number 14, Maddie Kester.
First shot is good for Kester.
Coming in for the Lady Tigers, number 1, Rayleigh Cowan.
That's Maddie's first point of the second half. She's got 6. It just goes to show you don't always have to score to affect the game. Kester's got 7. Trojans by 21. Quickly back the other way. Here comes Cowan into the corner to Yarrick. Now back to Cowan down the lane, and they're going to get a reach-in foul against Carson Oran, I believe. Yep. That's 2 on Oran.
Her second, team third.
Now Fort Scott to inbound. They get it into Yarrick, or I'm sorry, to Comstock. She gets it out to Cowan. Now they're trying to get it back into Comstock. They do. The shot no good, and the foul. I think they're going to get Boatman with this one. That'd be Erica's 5th.
Foul on number 23, Erica.
Or 4th.
Team 4th. To the line, shooting to number 23.
I'm the one keeping these stats. Why can't I read them? Comstock's first shot on the way. No good off the front iron. I never learned to read numbers, Daryl. Or I never learned to count. One or the other.
Did you not take a math class with Miss Jackson?
Probably the second. No. I went to Pittsburgh. That might explain it.
And
Comstock makes the second.
I'm so sorry for you.
I got the most out of it, you know.
Didn't get the brilliant education that you get here at Girard.
Yeah.
And I say that with all honesty.
Yeah. Adolph with the inbound pass to Oran. Could have been worse, Daryl. Could have gone front neck.
True.
Got it into Oran. Across the timeline. Whoa, don't jump the pass. Gets it to Adolph. And Jiraiya putting it on the floor, and they're just playing keep away out there up top. Fort Scott desperately trying to foul, and there it is. Yorick will pick it up. I think that's her first.
My goodness. That's Gus the Gorilla in the doorway.
Never mind, they give it to Rogers. That's her third.
They must be giving away a scholarship here at halftime. Gus the Gorilla in the doorway. He's
right
ready.
On. Well, I don't think it's going to you, Daryl. They already got your money.
2 years in.
Yeah.
They don't give it out to non-high schoolers anymore.
Adolph hits them both. Trojans running away with this one. Did not expect this girls' game to be this lopsided. Cowan's shot no good. Rebound Comstock. Kicks it back out. Another miss. Rebound Adolph. Oran to walk it up the floor. We're under a minute now. Kester with it on the wing. 45 seconds and counting. Kester gives it back up to Oran. Carson will give it back to Maddie. Now back to Jiraiya Adolph. Back to Kester. None of these girls you want at the free throw line if you're Fort Scott.
No. And
it appears Coach Stepp's going to kind of run up the white flag.
Yeah.
Nobody's fouling here.
Called off the dogs, but they're making it just pesky enough to
it's
not just let it run out.
Just inconvenient. Kester's going to hold. We're under 10 seconds. Trojan crowd comes to their feet. And the Girard Trojans get a top-notch win over a quality opponent tonight in Fort Scott as they win this one going away 51-29. And Trojans get out of here with a win. We'll step away for a quick break. We'll be back with the Eastside Cafe postgame show. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live. Tries to make something out of nothing. The Trojans all over him. It's going to be a big loss on the play.
A Trojan sack means $1 short stacks at Eastside Cafe. Kick off your day with a hearty breakfast or take that midday break at Eastside Cafe. And this fall, when the Trojans get a sack, you get $1 short stacks the next day. Eastside Cafe, a favorite of the Four States winner. Go Trojans from Eastside Cafe.
Hello, Four States. This is Jay Hatfield with the Jay Hatfield Auto Group. We've been serving the Four States area for over 29 years, and we now have 6 locations which offer Chevrolet, GMC, Ford, and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Each of our locations is operated by a Jay Hatfield family member or managing partner. At Jay Hatfield, we're here to earn your business and trust. We have approximately 300 pre-owned and 300 new vehicles in stock or on their way, and we're making deals. Come see us at Jay Hatfield location today and let us make you part of the Jay Hatfield family.
The first one here is a 2017 Ford Focus with only 21,000 miles. That one's not for sale though. I'm going to probably keep that one.
Hi, my name's Eddie.
2016 Chevy Malibu with only 13,000 miles, but I hang on to that one too. So let me show you the next one. Ford F-150, but That one's going to stay with me too. So let's go down to the next one here. Hi, I'm Eddie. 2017 F-150, so we have 3 of them. I could probably let that one go. That one go. Hi, my name's Eddie. 2015 Ford Transit Cargo. I'm going to keep that one because I have to move here soon. But the rest of them, you're welcome to come out and look at. And I think you'd like a lot of them. We appreciate your business.
Farmers Bank is a proud supporter of Girard schools. For generations, Farmers Bank has worked with local leaders, businesses, and residents to help shape the future of Southeast Kansas. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. As partners in business and friends in life, Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank, with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Producers Cooperative Association is the area leader in providing quality agricultural products, services, and markets. PCA has what you need to maximize your operation with a full-service agronomy department, grain origination, handling and storage, bulk fuels and lubricants, propane, a jam-packed farm store, and livestock feeds in bulk or bagged. PCA is proud to call Girard home and to support Trojan athletics. Stop by or see more online at pcacoop.com.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor. Trojan girls get the win 51-29 over the Fort Scott Tigers, and that's a quality win over a quality opponent in dominating fashion. And right now we're joined by head coach Brad Herlocker. And while he's getting in here, I do want to let you know that our post-game show is brought to you by Eastside Cafe. Experience the best breakfast in all of Crawford County 6 days a week at 120 South Ozark Street in Girard. Proud supporters of Trojan athletics. And for those of you scoring at home tonight, Erica Boatman did get the double-double, so it's $2 short stacks tomorrow morning at Eastside Cafe. We'll see you there. All right, Coach. Man, what an impressive win by your squad. You got to be super proud of these girls tonight. A quality opponent coming in here in Fort Scott, and you guys just led it from the word go and outscored them in every single quarter.
Yeah, you know, eighth-ranked team, I think, in 4A right now, and a really good team. I tip my hat to them. They're a really, really good basketball team. We came in with a game plan tonight, and it worked really, really well. More than probably any other night, I would say that we had both ends working as well as they've worked. You know, we've had some nights where our offense looked really, really good, but our game plan or our defense was maybe a little bit off. We've had nights vice versa where we couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, but our defense was really, really good. You know, we were probably from top to bottom as close to a perfect of a game as we've played so far, and it wasn't perfect, but it was you know, really, really above average.
Yeah, and I thought your girls did a fantastic job tonight down on the blocks, containing Kylie Comstock, battling for rebounds down there, and then even finding shots of their own down amongst the bigs tonight.
Yeah, you know, she is a really, really good player, and we never wanted to see her get going. You know, they had shooters too, so that made it a challenge. But again, I thought our kids closed out to people and contested shots and boxed out. You know, another critical piece. You know, only giving up that one shot and then going down to our end. And like I said, you know, we did a nice job versus their zone stuff and really targeted in and hit some shots. When you're hitting shots against the zone, everything looks good, you know, and we did that. You know, just can't say enough from top to bottom of the defensive effort, and then offensively sharing the ball and getting the ball to the right person for a pretty high percentage shot.
And then after a week of playing a tournament halfway across the state, had to be pretty nice to play one tonight in your own house.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we've been road warriors all year long, and we don't have a whole lot of home games left either. But you know, it is nice to have a full week here at home. Coming back from that, and actually 2, 3-game weeks in a row, which you usually don't get very often. But you know, that battle tested is what we're going to be by the end of this year. We got really good, really good schedule, and it doesn't get any easier from here. Number 1 ranked Colgan is waiting for us on Friday, but they do have to come here to us, and I hope we come out as focused as we did tonight.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for coming up here and hollering at us, and congratulations on the win, and celebrate it.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, that's head coach Brad Herlocker of the Girard Trojans. They win tonight 51-29 over the Fort Scott Tigers. Back in action later on this week, homecoming, as the Trojans welcome in the Colgan Panthers. And like Coach said, the number 1 ranked team in 2A, and it's not going to get much easier for the Trojans, but it just makes them a tougher team as we head into the sub-state and hopefully the state tournament on down the road. A big quality win tonight over a very good girls team out of the SEK League as the Trojans win at 51-29 over Fort Scott. Trojans led it 16-8 after the first quarter, 29-12 at the break, 40-20 after 3, and then 51-29, is your final score, and the Trojans outscored the Tigers in every single quarter. So from start to finish tonight, a solid game on both ends of the floor. You heard Coach talk about it, and it's a quality one, and Trojan girls go home, be proud tonight, and celebrate the win. We'll take a quick break. We come back, we're going to fire up the Community National Bank and Trust post-game or pre-game show, start talking about the boys matchup tonight between the Trojans and the Tigers. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
A partner in your fields and in your success. That's what you get with Murphy Seed. Channel seedsman Matt Murphy knows your fields and can recommend the elite seed products designed to perform in your area, maximizing the profitability of every acre. With Murphy Seed, you'll get year-round, hands-on, customized service. To learn more, call Murphy Seed at 620-249-6419. Your partner at every stage. Matt Murphy and Murphy Seed.
Hello, Four States. This is Jay Hatfield with Jay Hatfield Motorsports. We've been serving the Four States area with motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides, plus offering you parts and service since 2005. We have 2 convenient locations, Pittsburgh and Joplin, selling quality brands such as Polaris, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Can-Am, and Suzuki. Jay Hatfield has a huge inventory available for immediate delivery. We offer financing options and an extensive selection of accessories. Most important, we're making deals. Come in and get your fun started today at Jay Hatfield Motorsports in Pittsburgh or Joplin.
Unbelievable amount of devastation. I've never seen anything like it.
We had a beautiful barn that was gone in 20 minutes.
Farm Bureau stepped up right away and said, hey, we got you and we'll be there for you.
We were taken care of. Now we could get on to repairing and rebuilding.
I tell everybody about Farm Bureau.
We're fortunate to say we have good coverage with good people doing it.
Contact Judd, Lori, Lisa, or Amber in Girard for all your insurance needs. You've heard go big or go home. At Big Iron Auctions, you can go big from home. With thousands of pieces of equipment, active auctions, bidding at your convenience, and an easy-to-use site, BigIronAuctions.com can help you grow big. Call Tyler Jackman at 620-404-8115 to see how Big Iron Auctions can help grow your operation. Bid now, list now at BigIronAuctions.com. From the phone call to the service call, Roto-Rooter is there with fast and reliable sewer and drain service. From repair and replacement to septic and grease trap pumping, Roto-Rooter is here for you. With video inspections, Roto-Rooter can identify the exact issue to get the repair done quickly and correctly. Complete sewer line repairs or replacements, Roto-Rooter has you covered. Serving Crawford, Bourbon, and Cherokee counties, Roto-Rooter, 620-231-5630.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust. Federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor, getting set for the boys matchup, the nightcap here tonight between the Girard Trojans and the Fort Scott Tigers. I'm Josh Ledner alongside me, Daryl McLeod. And the Trojan boys come in tonight's game 4-7 overall. They're coming off of a 54-37 loss against Sabetha in the consolation game on Saturday back at the Burlington Invitational. And for these boys, they're probably just glad to get out of Burlington. And me too.
Yeah.
Fort Scott coming in 1-9. Their lone win coming back on January 24th, just like a week ago, 48-32 against the Colgan Panthers. They've lost every other contest this season. And looking at them out on the floor, they don't look like that bad of a team, Daryl. So the Trojans certainly not an opponent you can sleep on tonight coming into Ted R. Taylor. The Trojans will face Colgan coming up Friday night, and that'll be basketball homecoming here in Girard, and we'll have the game and all the homecoming festivities for you here on Girard Sports Live. Girls game will tip at 6, boys game to follow, or pregame coverage will start at around 5:30. So make sure and join us for that one if you can't make it to the gym. Trojan boys in that Sabetha game, again, Daryl, their problems this year have been those slow starts, and they were down 21-6 at the end of the first quarter and just never able to get back in it. They trailed 39-13 at the half and just couldn't dig out. Trojans only had one guy in double figures. It was Scott Moore with 12. Ransom Bourne had 8. And then as far as shooting from beyond the arc, Trojans just made one 3-point bucket the entire game, and Sabetha drained 7 of them. And it was just a rough night shooting, or I guess afternoon, shooting the ball for Girard last Saturday. And so hopefully Trojans have shaken that off. They're here in their home gym where they're used to shooting the ball, and hopefully that'll result in some better shooting performance tonight from the Trojans. But they're going to have to get off to a better start than 21-6.
Yeah, and I know we've kind of went over it a lot this season, but this team just needs to find their identity. I mean, if it's going to be defense, and that's probably a good place to start with how Ben Cullen gets steals, picks up steals, how Scott Moore kind of controls the paint down there for the Trojans. If your identity is going to be defense, then you cannot let your opponent score, over 50 points. You got to set a margin for yourself. Because if your identity is going to be defense, you're not going to be scoring a whole lot on offense. That's not going to be your main focal point. So you just got to figure out what you want to do great and make sure you do it great.
Those keys to the game brought to you by Evans Motors. Get the keys to your next ride with a stop at Evans Motors. Nate and Eddie have decades of experience getting folks into the right car, truck, van, or SUV that's right for them and their family. Stop by and see them at the intersection of Highways 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh, or see their full selection online at evansmotors.net. We're running short here on the halftime show, so we're just going to stay right here, get right into our starting lineups for the game. Trojans will start this game in style, but nowhere near the level of style you'll find at the Jagged Edge. Stylist Carla Sands will have you looking your best for your next big game. Make an appointment soon by calling 620-724-7500. First, for the visiting Fort Scott Tigers, they'll start. Oh, you had it. Okay, they'll start number 1, 5'10 senior Nate Cunningham, number 11, 6'3 junior Kanan Brown, number 14, 6'3 junior Tyler Anderson, number 23, 6'3 senior Josh Wolhoff, and number 33, 6'5 senior Ty Marbury. So they put some good height out on the floor tonight against the Trojans. Girard will start number 1, 5'8 senior Ranson Bourne, number 3, 6'1 senior Siler Sammons, number 12, 6'2 sophomore Ben Cullen, number 22, 6'3 sophomore Cam Smith, and number 40, 6'5 senior Scott Moore. And it's going to be important tonight for Moore to stay out of foul trouble and for the Trojans to get out to a quick start, either shooting the ball or feeding it down low to Moore to get out in front of this Fort Scott team and not let this one get away from them early. Got about 2 minutes until tip-off. Man, Trojans played a barn burner against Labette County on Friday. Came out of that with a 3-point win and then dropped a lopsided decision to Sabetha on Saturday night. Fort Scott they're coming off a win against Colgan, their only of the season, back on the 24th, 48-32 over the Panthers.
Yeah, Colgan's facing kind of a down year. They lost a lot of seniors last year.
Yep. And a lot of size, I believe, as well.
Hopefully this Friday the Trojans can take advantage of that and get themselves a win in the league.
Here's hoping, brother. Getting set for our opening tip. Brought to you by Farmers Bank. Farmers Bank's proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Public address announcer Avi Sharma getting set to introduce the starting lineups for tonight's game.
I got to say, I know you said that Fort Scott's bringing out a lot of height into this matchup, but looking across the board, it appears that Scott Moore is once again going to be the tallest man on the floor, and we've kind of said it all season long. Feeding him has got to be the goal on the offensive side of the ball. Westcott's even said it in some of the post-game interviews that he's done with us. Scott Moore's got to be the focal point of your offense, and through that you can dish out, get it to other guys. But something I would like to see more than anything is Cam Smith take it to the rack. We've seen him be a little timid, shooting from outside a lot of the season, but he's got a big body. He is a tall kid, a strong kid, and it'd be very beneficial for his future game as well if he comes out and is able to take it to the rack, get some buckets inside the paint. And I think that's going to develop him really well for the future.
Yeah, and nothing gets you in rhythm for outside shooting like making a few layups and a few short jumpers. And so it'd be great to see him just take it to the rack. And he's got a big physical frame.
Yes.
He's one of the best athletes on the team, and it would be good to see him not settle for that outside shot early, but find it in the flow of the game. And we'll see what they do here early. There's some sort of hold up somewhere.
I think the Fort Scott coach marked their starters wrong, because that is Dub Chipman, who just came into the game as a starter, and he is not marked on any of our lists or on Avi's list down there. So.
Right, okay. Dub Chipman.
Okay. He's a senior. Number 1, Redson Moore.
Okay. Avi, the consummate professional. Proud product of the Department of Communication in Pittsburgh State.
So it looks like it's not going to be Nate Cunningham as a starter, but instead Dub Chipman.
Right. That's the only one we got wrong. It's fine.
1 out of 5.
Yeah.
I'm sure one of them will be in eventually.
Hey, if we were right 4 out of 5 times, we'd be the world's best weatherman.
That is true.
What I'm proud of is that I pronounced Wolhoff's last name properly.
Yeah. With accordance to Avi, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to call that a dub.
Chipman.
Hey, if you're pronouncing it the same way as the PA address, it's correct. Whatever it actually is.
Leave it at that. It's the duty of the coach to correct pronunciations.
That's right. Phonetically spell it out. Well, there's your starting lineups for tonight's game. We got them mostly right. Dub Chipman, the only outlier. And we took care of that in dramatic fashion.
Yes, we did. As we should.
We have the same officiating crew for the boys' game as the girls' game, as is often the tradition. Kansas high school basketball. You know, if you have interest in being an official, you should definitely get in touch with Acacia. They always have a hard time finding officials, and if you love sports, it's an essential role in the game atmosphere and in the actual game itself. And we always need people to volunteer to be officials. And if you're a member of the crowd or a broadcaster, I guess take it easy on these guys. Everybody's doing their best.
Can't we all learn from that?
Oh, there's a technical foul to start this out. Cam Smith's going to shoot a tech. First shot is good.
What?
Trojans start this game on a 1-0 run.
It might be from that incorrect marking of the starters.
It could be. It's a costly clerical error and leads to a 2-point lead for the Trojans as Smith hits both free throws. He's 2 for 2 from the stripe.
And no jump ball either.
And it will be Girard ball to start the game. No tip. So our opening tip. Congratulations, Farmers Bank. You got the opening tip read without an actual opening tip.
Trojans with it inbound, now, I suppose.
Leading by 2, clock running. We're underway. Smith with it on the far side, trying to feed down low to Siler Sammons. Sammons goes reverse layup, and it's good. Trojans out to a 4-0 lead over Fort Scott. This is Kanan Brown with it, looking down low. Gets it to Josh Wolhoff. Now tries to get it back out to Brown. They mishandle it. Brown ends up with it. He's guarded by Ben Cullen. Trojans playing a man-to-man defense. Out to Wolhoff. Cam Smith picks him up. And they got a foul on the outside. I think they're going to get this one against Cullen on a reach.
Number 12, Ben Cullen, his first, team first.
I'm going to say a push. Push, reach.
All the same.
Splitting hairs.
Save it for the semantics.
Inbound by Chipman. Gets it in to Brown. Guarded by Cullen. Back over to Chipman. And a foul as Brown drives in the lane. The Trojans going to have to do a better job of denying him that dribble penetration, because you can tell exactly what he wants to do is get in the lane and draw contact. For foul goes against Cam Smith, his first. Second team foul on the Trojans. Long possession here for Fort Scott as Brown misses the front end.
Yeah. Feels like a long possession.
Feels like they've had the ball for about 10 minutes.
But Girard came out with a technical free throw and a very quick bucket. So.
And Brown hits the second. Trojans lead it 4-1 here in the top of the first. Smith with it. Crosses over now into the lane. Elevates. Little baby hook is good. Ask and you shall receive, Darryl.
I was going to mention it. Exactly what I asked for in the pregame show, and look at him go, getting his points on the board already.
Chipman handling up the floor, gives it up to Brown on the wing, guarded by Cullen, working off a screen. Brown steps back for three, no good. Rebound tipped around, and the loose ball comes away to Ranson Bourne. Good battle for Cam Smith to fight to get it out of the hands of the defender, and then a bad pass inside and a travel against Fort Scott. I think they're going to whistle that one on Chipman, who didn't have the pass cleanly handled before he took off with it, and I think got whistled for the travel right like on the first step. Back to the Trojans. Cullen up top to Cam Smith. Back on the wing to Sammons. Back up top to Smith. Here's a long three, high arcing shot, no good. Rebound Siler Sammons, and it ends up back in the hands of Smith. Cam picks up his dribble, now kicks it to Cullen, top of the key, back to Bourne. Ranson into the lane, off the glass, no good. Rebound comes down to Chipman. Thought for a second Bourne was going to get that one to go. It's kind of his standard shot. It doesn't look standard. Chipman into the lane, little floater is good. Trojan lead, cut to three. And that pass from Smith and Chipman with a run out. Trojans got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. Can't telegraph passes out on the perimeter like that against a good team. Moore can't handle the pass inside. Trojans turn it over again. Quickly back the other way. Cullen there to slap it away. And he thought it should be Girard basketball off the leg of Anderson, but the official begs to differ. It'll stay with Fort Scott. 5:07 to play first quarter. Trojans leading by 1. Back out to Brown. Thought about a three from the corner. Now he'll put it on the floor. Back over to Chipman. Now Brown with it, guarded by Bourne. Brown guarded by Bourne is going to give me trouble all night. Chipman over to Brown. Swings it over to Anderson. Shot on the way. Short of the mark. Rebound Sammons. Into the quarter into Sammons. Up top to Bourne. Thought about it. Swings it around to Cullen. Now Cam Smith with it. Back up top. Bourne driving the lane. And they're going to say he stepped on the end line. And that'll turn it over to Fort Scott. That's the Trojans' third turnover here in the first quarter. Home crowd doesn't like that call, but the official was standing right on the line, looking down the line.
Yeah, he seemed to have a little bit better view than the student section.
Better than me, yep. Chipman gives it up to Brown. Salmons guarding him. Brown into the lane, into the chest of Salmons. Gets away with a Euro step and an Afro step and an Asian step. Trojans quickly down the floor to Salmons. Off the glass and good. Siler Salmons, right place. Beats the Fort Scott Tigers down the floor as Chipman almost walked with it again. Brown into the lane. Reverse layup is good. And Moore did a good job not to foul there. 3 points for Brown. And we still got a 1 point game. Salmons over to Bourne. A couple of different Trojans in the same area. Poor spacing on the floor as both Cullen and Bourne were in the same spot, and they both touched the ball before it went out of bounds. That time, Cullen was a pesky defender, but against the Trojans. This is Marbury with it, kicks it back out to Chipman. Now Anderson back out to Chipman, spinning. Gives it back up to Anderson. He'll elevate. Shot on the way is good. Trojans need to take care of the basketball on this possession. Cross-court pass to Bourne. Passed up a three. He'll pull back for a 15-footer, and it's good. First bucket of the night for Bourne. And the Trojans back in front by 1. This could be one of those games like we witnessed last week against Lebec County where there's dozens of lead changes throughout the game. Chipman gives it up to Anderson. Back up top to Brown. Guarded by Cullen. Brown puts it on the floor. Driving into the lane. Tries to dish. Didn't really have anywhere to go with it and throws it away. Cullen with it on the far side. Back up top to Smith. To Bourne, excuse me. Now back to Smith. And Moore with it on the wing. They'll reset the half court. Cullen into the lane. Elevates. Shot on the way is good. That's a good sign for the Trojans when Cullen's getting those shots inside to fall. And Girard up by 3, 2 minutes to play. First quarter. Here comes Chipman down the lane. He has a clear look at it. Can't get it to fall. Rebound, Scott Moore. Smith will push a little bit. Into the lane. Kicks it over far side to Salmons. They'll swing it around the horn. Moore with it far side. Back up top to Cam Smith. Now Salmons with it. Bourne on the far side. And they get a whistle down low against Fort Scott as Ben Cullen was battling for position against Marbury. That's his first team foul on Fort Scott.
Number 10, Malachi Larson, and number 34, Aiden Ogrid. For the Trojans, number 5, Harrison Burke, and number 25, Levi Blair.
Blair and Harrison Burke into the game for the Trojans. Malachi Larson and Aiden Ogren into the game for Fort Scott. And there's a turnover inside as Burke lost the dribble. Back the other way. Here's Brown working against Blair. Working off the screen. Brown, shot on the way, off the back iron, no good. Rebound tipped around, gathered by Levi Blair. And here's Ranson Bourne with it. Burke, top of the key, gives it up to Smith, around to Blair. Now back to Bourne. Turnaround jumper. No good. Rebound Brown.
No, he was feeling it, but that's not exactly a shot you want to take here at his high school level.
Falling away, 15-footer. That's a Jack Perry shot there. Levi Blair with it. Or guarding Brown out there at the top of the key. Under a minute to play first quarter. Brown into the lane. Cut off by Burke. And they're going to whistle him for a travel. Good call. Looked good from here anyway. We have that as the third turnover of the first half against Fort Scott. Trojans leading by 3. They'll have the ball with under a minute to play first quarter.
Both teams are playing very fast back and forth right now, and it's going to lead to a lot of turnovers later on if they're not careful.
Smith open for 3. He'll pull the trigger in rhythm. Can't get it to go. Long rebound tracked down by Scott Moore. Moore, too much on the pass to Harrison Burke. That's just a long bounce pass to try and make, and he had some pepper on it.
Yeah.
And Burke couldn't handle it.
It was a pretty good dish, just that position was just off just a little bit. Just off a little bit. Goes off his hands and out of bounds.
And just when you make that long of a bounce pass, it's going to have a lot of English on it, and it's difficult.
English is the correct
difficult
word.
to catch. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound right into the basket of Scott Moore, but he can't bring it in. Chipman ends up with it, kicks it back out. Larson drives off the glass and good. Just beat Levi Blair off the dribble. Help defense didn't come over, and it's a one-point game again. Trojans have led by as many as 6 in this first quarter, but Fort Scott hanging with them. Blair, his shot blocked, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. Trojans lead it by 1, 12-11. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back here watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live. Tries to make something out of nothing. The Trojans all over him. It's going to be a big loss on the play.
A Trojan sack means $1 short stacks at Eastside Cafe. Kick off your day with a hearty breakfast or take that midday break at Eastside Cafe. And this fall, when the Trojans get a sack, you get $1 short stacks the next day. Eastside Cafe, a favorite of the 4 states winner. Go Trojans from Eastside Cafe.
Left me like that. I will never let Gus the Gorilla live that down.
No, nor should you.
He didn't give me a fist bump. As
Did
he was
not dab
walking
you
by.
up. I don't understand.
I don't think he saw me in that big gorilla sunglasses of his, but
yeah, it's dark in here. Trojans lead it by 1 after 1, 12-11 over the Fort Scott Tigers. Trojans led by as many as 6 in that first quarter, but Fort Scott able to claw their way back into it. Several lead changes back and forth. Now Brown will handle it across the timeline, gives it up to Chipman. As they get into their offense, Chipman, his dribble cut off by Siler Sammons. Now he'll kick it over to Anderson. Up top to Larson. Larson over to Algren. Shot no good. Long rebound, and no Trojans get it. Brown right there in the middle of 5 white jerseys pulls it down. Three-pointer on the way. Rebound Chipman. And he's going to pick up a foul against Siler Sammons as he comes down hard on his posterior.
Siler Sammons, his first team first. Subbing in for the Tigers, number 33, Ty Marbury.
Marbury back into the game for Fort Scott. Quick shot on the way by Brown, no good. Tipped out of bounds, it'll be Trojan ball. Chipman knocked it out of the hands of Cullen. And we said it, this is going to be a pretty evenly matched boys game, and here we are with a 1-point game in the second quarter. Lob pass over the top, tipped out of bounds, it'll stay with the Trojans, and was intended for Cullen. And defender caught on to what was going on just at the last moment, able to tip that one away. Bourne to the elbow to Moore, working into the lane, a blocking foul going to be called, I believe, against Marbury, as he picks himself up off the floor.
Okay.
And that's 2 on Marbury.
Well, I was going to say the ref initially signaled that it was an and 1 bucket.
No.
But it quickly got changed by that other ref.
No. Inbound pass, and they're going to get a foul against Chipman, and it'll stay with the Trojans. That'll be Chipman's first.
Correction, that foul is on number 33, Ty Marbury.
And then this one's on Chipman.
Yep.
Okay.
On number 0, Doug Chipman, his first, team second.
Trojans will get it into Sammons. Now up top to Smith. He waves Bourne off, trying to direct traffic. Space out. Smith going to work, kicks it out to Sammons. He was open for 3, passes it up, gives it to Cullen. Now back to Bourne. Ranson picks up his dribble. Sammons can't handle the pass, and the Trojans turn it over. Phew. Chipman will have it off the inbound. Trojans leading by 1, just turned it over. Chipman driving, kicks it out. Oof. Now Brown with it, as Marbury almost lost the handles on it out there at the top of the key. Coming out to set a screen. Brown loses it off his leg, and they're going to say the Trojans touched it last, and it'll stay with Fort Scott. That was a little hand is faster than the eye action there, Darryl. Get outside to Larson, working against Bourne. Now Chipman with it. Kick it out to Anderson. Now back to Chipman, and they'll back it out. Getting the call in from Coach Feeback. Shot on the way, no good. Rebound, put back, no good. Scott Moore with the board for the Trojans. And here comes Ranson Bourne. Top of the key to Cam Smith. Over to Salmons. Now Ben Cullen with it on the wing, trying to get it to Scott Moore. And Scott's had to work to catch every single pass thrown his way tonight. Cullen with it up top. Gets it to Smith. Lobbed over the top to Moore. And off the glass and good. First bucket of the night for Scott Moore. And the Trojans back up by 3. So you talk about Fort Scott's defense. They kept Scott Moore out of the scoring column until about halfway through the second quarter. Brown with it will give it back up to Chipman.
They've been doing a good job of not letting that ball get inside to him. He hasn't touched the ball much this game aside for rebounds.
Chipman in trouble, kicks it back out to Anderson. Now he'll drive, gives Bourne a forearm to the chest, kicks it back out to Brown, guarded by Cullen. Now Brown will step back, three-pointer on the way, in and out, rebound Cullen. Scott Moore did a good job closing out on that three-point shot. Make Brown think about it. Back up top to Bourne, passes up an open three, gives it to Cam Smith. He'll take the three and nails it. 7 points for Smith. Trojans lead it by 6. 30-second timeout will stay right here. And there's that outside shot that the Trojans have had so much trouble hitting in the first halves of ball games, and it really will stretch that defense out if you can make a couple.
I would love to see Cam Smith get hot from outside because he is very confident in his shot, and that's only going to build his confidence if he starts knocking a bunch of them down.
And if he starts knocking down those threes, it'll be a lot easier on the dribble penetration too, because they'll have to come out and honor that three-point shot, and that'll allow him lanes to the bucket, and he's a fantastic free throw shooter as well.
Exactly. Good passer. It's going to open up passing lanes for him too, potentially getting that ball into Scott Moore. Just so many things are going to open up for the Trojans once those threes start falling. And you mentioned it's been something they've struggled with all season long, and other teams haven't had to totally honor it, and that's the reason.
And you look at the Trojans, they're a team that has all the parts. They just need to get a little more confidence, and you make a few of those shots, build some confidence, and it could be huge for them coming down the stretch.
Absolutely. Time to get hot is now.
Dub Chipman handling up the floor for Fort Scott. 4.5 to play first half. He'll kick it over to Anderson and get it back. You can tell that Chipman's really what stirs the drink for Fort Scott. Anderson with it, guarded by Bourne. He'll give it up to Chipman again. Now back over to Anderson. Now back to Chipman. He's going to drive. Little floater in the lane is good, and that's what he's wanting to do. 6 points for Chipman. Into the corner to Siler Salmons, now on the Trojan end of the floor. Back up top to Cam Smith. Now Cullen with it, top of the key, over to Bourne. Back to Smith. And you can tell they're honoring that outside shot now, coming out to defend him beyond the three-point line. And here goes Ransom Bourne, has it poked away from behind, loses it, and then fouls Chipman. And that'll be the first on Bourne.
Foul on number 1, Ransom Bourne, his first team. Subbing in
Nate Cunningham and Josh Wolhoff check back into the game for Fort Scott. Chipman and Larson will sit. Trojans by 4, 3.5 to play in the first half. Anderson with it, gives it up to Brown into the corner. Now back up top to Cunningham. Anderson with it. Trojans putting some pressure on him. Get it away. Shot no good. Tipped around. Back into the corner. Back up top now to Anderson as there were some wild and woolly passes there, but Fort Scott managed to handle them all. Brown needs to dribble before he starts stepping again. Now to Marbury in the corner. Back to Brown. It's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Scott. 3:04 to play first half. Trojans by 4, 17-13. Brown will get it off the inbound. Clock is running now under 3 minutes. Anderson with it. Has it poked away from behind by by Ben Cullen. And Scott Moore comes away with the loose ball. Girard with it back. Salmons with it on the far side. Gives it up to Scott Moore. He's fouled trying to catch the pass by Marbury, and that'll be 3 on Marbury. Now Marbury's going to have to sit, and Ogren will come back into the game for Fort Scott. Marbury playing with a brace on his shoulder, so he may not be 100% tonight, but trying to gut it out nonetheless. Bourne into the lane, elevates, shot on the way, good, and the foul. 4 points for Ranson Bourne, trying to make it 5 here from the stripe and push the Trojan lead to 7.
His first team fourth. To the line for the and one, number 1, Ranson Bourne. Subbing in for the Tigers, number 10, Malachi Larson.
Malachi Larson in the game. Nate Cunningham will sit. Bourne's shot off the mark. Rebound Smith, but he had it poked away by Chipman. Now Chipman gets it away to Brown. The Trojans are going to have to get back defensively, and they do. Now Chipman trying to go down the lane, kicks it back out to Brown. Bourne and Cullen trapping Brown. He kicks it over to Chipman on the far side. Back up top, open look for Wolhoff. Can't get it to go. Rebound Scott Moore. Good defensive possession that time by the Trojans. And they have it back, 2:13 and counting, leading by 6. Salmons with it. Into the corner to Cullen, far side in front of that Trojan student section. Back up top to Smith. Long three-pointer, in and out. Scott Moore battling for the rebound, has it tipped out of his hands, and it's going to come away to Chipman for Fort Scott. Chipman driving down the lane, kicks it into the corner to Brown. Now he's driving. His shot is up and good. 5 points for Brown. Trojan lead back down to 4 with 1:40 to play, first half. Trojans need to come away with some points on this possession. Moore with it, up top. Gets it over to Cam Smith, into the corner to Ben Cullen. Back up top to Moore. Back around to Smith. Lob pass over the top to Scott Moore. Off the glass, won't go. Man, he had a good look at it and just couldn't get it to go. Need to put a little more air under it off the glass. Now Anderson spinning at the elbow. His pass deflected by Salmons, out of bounds. And it's going to be Girard basketball. They're going to say last touch by Dub Chipman. And a good play by Siler Salmons to get his hand in there. And Siler will sit Levi Blair into the game along with Perrin Stevens. So Smith and Salmons get a breather. Blair and Stevens into the game. Stevens with it now. Back up top to Bourne. To Blair. Now Cullen with it. Back over to Bourne. Trojans can hold for the last shot here. Looks like what they want to do as they get it over to Blair. Now back to Stevens. Into the elbow to Cullen. Turnaround shot off the glass. No, not close. Rebounded Brown. And they're pushing ahead to Chipman, and he beats everybody down the floor for Girard, and we're looking at a 2-point game. Not a very good transition defense that time by Girard as Chipman went coast to coast and beat everybody down the floor. Back up top to Bourne. See if the Trojans looked like they rushed a shot last time when they didn't have to. See if they hold for last shot here. You would think that they would. Ransom Bourne hit a buzzer beater at the half against Labette County off the glass, a circus shot to give the Trojans a lead at the half. And they got a held ball. Possession arrow favors the Trojans. And Stevens tried to put it on the floor, and now Levi Blair and Ben Cullen will sit as Cam Smith and Siler Salmons check into the game for Girard. Bourne with it off the inbound. Fouled going into the lane. And he trips over Malachi Larson, who I believe will pick up his first.
Yeah, and that's huge because that's going to send Bourne to the free throw line now that Girard's in the bonus. Only going to be in the bonus for 1.2 seconds, but in the bonus nonetheless.
Well, it turns a non-shooting foul into a shooting foul. And Bourne will get 2 free throws. A chance to push this lead to 4. First shot in and out. Free throw shooting. Trojans as a team 2 for 3 from the stripe tonight. Haven't shot a lot of free throws in this first half. Nobody has. And he drains the second one. Cullen and Blair check back into the game as Salmons and Bourne will sit. Siler was a little slow off the floor. Now we know which 5 are going to be out there. Long pass over the top, and Scott Moore took it off the chin, I believe. And that'll do it for the first half. Trojans lead it by 3, 20-17. Over the Fort Scott Tigers. We'll take a quick break and be back with the GN Bank Halftime Show. You're watching Trojan Basketball on Girard Sports Live.
You're dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Samsung savings. Leave notes, sync calendars, and display your photos on the new Samsung Family Hub refrigerator. Plus, get free same-day delivery. Why shop for appliances where the motto is do it yourself when you can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day?
The only thing better than our price is our service. Hydrix, Fort Scott, and Girard.
Call service is outstanding in their field, especially for those that are stuck, well, outstanding in their field. Calls carries a wide selection of farm, industrial, and heavy-duty tires, all from the best brands in the business. And they've got farm service trucks ready to go. Plus, Calls continues to be the place folks go for car and truck tires, repairs, oil changes, and so much more. If you're in the market for new tires in Southeast Kansas, make the right call to Call Service, 620-724-4121. See more at callservicellc.com.
Our whole vision of becoming the 4-state agency was because we want to be able to grow with our clients, whether they have a lake house in Oklahoma, whether they're starting a business and expanding into Arkansas. We want to make sure that they're taken care of, whether it's home, auto, financial services, or even life insurance. We want to walk through the stages of life with our clients. That's the biggest part. That's what makes us different.
When it comes to your health care, you have a choice. Choose to stay local. Choose Girard Medical Center. For over 100 years, Girard Medical Center has been a part of the community, and they work every day to meet the healthcare needs of those they serve. With 6 locations in Southeast Kansas and an ever-expanding list of inpatient and outpatient services, you just don't have to travel anymore to get quality, cutting-edge care, including many services you won't find elsewhere. Proud to serve Girard and the surrounding area. Learn more at girardmedicalcenter.com. Whether you're trying to make the most of the next harvest, navigating a changing business landscape, or planning for the next chapter in your life,
The professionals at Prime Accounting Solutions are here to help. With 10 locations, Prime Accounting offers convenient, friendly accounting and tax services at a fair price. Payroll, bookkeeping, business planning, personal tax filing, and more. And now Prime is the place to go for insurance. Trojan fans can find us at 408B North Grand in Pittsburgh or call 620-232-7305. To find a location near you, go to primeaccounting.net.
He's a gorilla. He can't read.
All right. We're going to find out who gets.
And your winner is Caroline Jacobs.
Is she here?
Oh, yes, she is.
There she is over in the Trojan pep band, who did not supply us with a drum roll. Not going to hold it against her. And she's going to get a $1,000 scholarship to Pittsburgh State. That's awesome. Congratulations. And a picture with the best-looking gorilla in all of Kansas.
I'd say all of the nation,
yeah,
there, Josh.
He could be.
As he is the only one.
Yeah, he is. All right, the one and only Gus Gorilla making an appearance here at halftime. Caroline Nichols getting the $1,000 scholarship to Pittsburgh State. Congratulations. At the break, the Trojans leading the Fort Scott Tigers 20-17. This is the GN Bank Halftime Show, brought to you by GN Bank, where they've been providing customers with the highest quality financial services in a friendly and personal way for over 100 years. Personal, business, or agricultural needs, turn to GN Bank. Learn more at gn-bank.com. Well, a back-and-forth affair for the Trojans. They did a much better job of taking care of the basketball tonight. Got some outside shots to fall. Kind of spread the defense out a little bit. But to me, aside from all of that encouraging news, they were getting the inside shots to fall as well, with Ben Cullen cutting to the bucket, getting some shots to fall. And the same thing with Scott Moore, although he did miss a lob there towards the end of the second quarter. By and large, those inside shots were going down for the Trojans, and that's good news for Girard.
Absolutely, and I think another thing to note with that is that multiple people have scored. Normally we see a pretty heavy reliance on one or two guys. You never really know who those one or two guys are going to be. Normally Scott Moore is in there as kind of a safety valve. Branson Bourne has a good game. He can usually take over a game. Cam Smith sometimes comes out, hits a bunch of threes. You never know which guy it's really going to be, but right now all of them are getting to the bucket and scoring, and that's huge for the Trojans.
That eye on the first half is brought to you by Kanar Eye Care. As we take a look back at the first half, Kanar Eye Care is here to make sure you can see what you're looking at. Kanar Eye Care, with locations in Pittsburgh and Girard, is here to help their valued customers. Learn more at KanarEyeCare.com. Well, we're running out of time here in this halftime show, thanks to a certain gorilla. And we'll go ahead and move on into these halftime stats, brought to you by B&B Excavating. The numbers don't lie, dirt's heavy, so trust the guys at B&B Excavating to move what needs moving. Specializing in septic systems, water line install and repair, driveways, rock hauling, and leveling. B&B Excavating. Give them a call, 620-724-2735. Okay, first for the Fort Scott Tigers, they're led in scoring by Dub Chipman. He's got 8. Kanan Brown has 5. And then Tyler Anderson and Malachi Larson with a bucket each to round out the scoring for Fort Scott. For the Trojans, they're led in scoring by Cam Smith. He's got 7. Ransom Bourne has 5. Siler Salmons with 4. Ben Cullen with a bucket, and Scott Moore with a bucket to round out the scoring for Girard. Trojans lead at 20-17 at the half. We'll step away for a quick break. We come back, second half action from here in Girard, the Trojans and the Tigers on Girard Sports Live.
When it comes to your health care, you have a choice. Choose to stay local. Choose Girard Medical Center. For over 100 years, Girard Medical Center has been a part of the community, and they work every day to meet the healthcare needs of those they serve. With 6 locations in southeast Kansas and an ever-expanding list of inpatient and outpatient services, you just don't have to travel anymore to get quality cutting-edge care, including many services you won't find elsewhere. Proud to serve Girard and the surrounding area. Learn more at GirardMedicalCenter.com.
Call's service is outstanding in their field, especially for those that are stuck, well, outstanding in their field. Call's carries a wide selection of farm, industrial, and heavy-duty tires, all from the best brands in the business. And they've got farm service trucks ready to go. Plus, Call's continues to be the place folks go for car and truck tires, repairs, oil changes, and so much more. If you're in the market for new tires in Southeast Kansas, make the right call to Call's Service, 620-724-4121. See more at callservicellc.com.
More than just your neighborhood pharmacy, Mathis Drug is your hometown partner in health. With pharmacist Bria Scheibe and an experienced, highly trained staff, Mathis Drug is ready to serve you. And now, Mathis Drug offers comprehensive compounding, which is one of the few pharmacies in Southeast Kansas with this convenient on-site service. From medications to expert advice, call 620-261-9779. Mathis Drug Store, where community and care come together.
Tries to make something out of nothing. The Trojans all over him. It's going to be a big loss on the play.
A Trojan sack means $1 short stacks at Eastside Cafe. Kick off your day with a hearty breakfast or take that midday break at Eastside Cafe. And this fall, when the Trojans get a sack, you get $1 short stacks the next day. Eastside Cafe, a favorite of the Four States winner. Go Trojans from Eastside Cafe.
Why settle for less than the best? Croc-Can's gigabit fiber optic internet is now available to Pittsburgh, Frontenac, and Fort Scott, and many rural areas in between. Croc-Can has the best speeds, the best reliability, the best service, the best support, and is overall the best value on all ultra-high-speed internet. If you want the best home internet connecting as many devices, all without equipment rentals, contracts, or overages, it is the time to switch to the best. It's time to switch to Croc-Can.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium. Ma'am, I think this officially ends the the GN Bank halftime show as we're getting set to start off the third quarter of action here in Girard. Trojans leading the Fort Scott Tigers 20-17. And we don't often get to ceremoniously end the halftime show like that.
It's nice when you can.
Yeah, recognize a changing of the guard. We're underway. Fort Scott will have the ball to start the third quarter. Chipman with it across the timeline. We're underway. As he drives to the elbow, picks up his dribble, now gives it up to Brown, driving off the glass, and the rebound tipped away from Scott Moore, as he's had a couple of those poked out of his hands tonight. As Chipman again to the elbow, picks it up, now back to Brown, and man, they're getting away with a lot of near walks. Chipman with it, picks it up again, slings it out to Anderson. Steps through, no good. Rebound Moore, and they're just going to let all the slapping happen after Scott Moore brings down a rebound. You like the rhyme action there?
Slapping happen.
Slapping happen. Over to Bourne, wide open for three. Ranson will pull the trigger off the mark. Rebound Chipman. I think Bourne was surprised to be that open. And Scott Moore rejects that one. And what, did they call a foul over there on the far side? They got it against Ranson Bourne. I didn't.
Foul number 1, Ranson Bourne, his second team first.
Is that because he didn't let him land properly? I don't understand. Could have been.
I think when the ball was coming down, he swiped in, maybe made contact with a player. I couldn't really see it from over here, though.
That's the kind of contact we call.
Yes, it is.
Here's Chipman, gets it over to Anderson, open for three. He's going to pull the trigger off the back iron, no good. Nobody up for the rebound for the Trojans, but it ends up right in the hands of Siler Salmons. And Bourne will bring it across the timeline, now back to Cam Smith, top of the key, kicks it over to Cullen on the wing, into the corner to Scott Moore. Salmons, cross court to Smith, he'll take a long three and nails it. Cam Smith feeling it tonight, Darryl. You said you were waiting for him to catch fire. He's got 10 points. Trojans lead it by 6. You're manifesting stuff left and right tonight, man.
Hey.
Why don't you talk about the Powerball?
13-27.
Ty Murbury hits the bucket to stop the bleeding for Fort Scott. It's his first bucket of the game. And the lead back down to 4. Bourne with it, far side. He'll take a three, way off the mark, and that rebound comes down to Anderson, if you want to call it that. It's more like a lob pass to Anderson. Brown with it, cross over to Anderson, and he's going to be fouled down low. I think they're going to get Siler Salmons with this one as Siler looks around like, what, me, who, what? And it is on Salmons. Second team foul on Salmons and the Trojans here in the third quarter. Chipman inbound from under the Tigers bucket. Gets it in over the top to Anderson. Now Chipman heading for the corner. Back up top. Trojans need to pick him up. They do. Back over to Anderson on the wing. And that pass deflected by Bourne. And then they're going to whistle Bourne trying to slap it away. And that's going to be 3 on Bourne as he picks up 2 very quick fouls to start this third quarter. And, you know, Ranson's a streaky shooter and a streaky fouler. And so he picks up 2 quick ones here to start the second half. Anderson inbound from in front of the Fort Scott bench. Gets it into Chipman. Back underway. 5:45 to play third quarter. Trojans by 4. Anderson with it on the wing. Into the corner to Brown. Looking down low. Back up top to Anderson. Mishandles the pass. Tracks it down. Now back to Chipman. Back to Anderson. Thought about a 3. Into the corner to Brown. Back up top to Chipman. Into the corner to Anderson. In rhythm. 3-pointer on the way. Off the mark. Rebound. Scott Moore.
Anderson just kind of needlessly falls back every time he shoots, and I don't really understand it. It's the reason he's not making any shots. It's just his form is just weird. His technique's weird on his base.
You're fading away when you don't need to fade away. It's almost like for aesthetic value. Cam Smith steps through. They're going to whistle him with a Are you kidding me? He didn't take the South American or the Asian step and is whistled for the travel. Okay.
Yeah.
This is me laying off the officials. 5 minutes to play third quarter. Trojans by 4.
I had a professor tell me today that New Year's resolutions usually fall flatter out now. So
yeah, well,
it's right in time, Josh.
I'm trying. I'm trying to be a better man. Chipman with it, driving into the lane, shot on the way, little floater, and that's his shot, man. You can't let him get to that spot if you're the Trojans.
He definitely favors that. He's hit a couple of those tonight already.
He's got 10. Emmer lead is back down to 2. Smith working against Brown. Smith crossing over. Passing the lane to Scott Moore. Step through bucket is good. 4 points for Moore as they've kept him pretty quiet tonight. But the Trojans needed that bucket, and he delivered. 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here. Trojans leading at 25-21 over Fort Scott. And both of these teams have had a rough start to the season. The Trojans coming off a loss to Sabetha. Fort Scott coming off, I believe, their first win of the year over Colgan last week. And they've had a real rough run through the SEK and pretty much everyone else they've played this year.
Yeah.
And the Trojans have just, some games they look really great. Other games they're out of sorts.
Right.
And that Sabetha game just couldn't get outside shots to fall. Only had 1 scorer in double figures, but tonight, it's clicking for the Trojans. Hope it stays that way as they lead at 25-21 here with 4:29 left to play third quarter.
Exactly. On that last drive there from Smith, another thing I like to see is that he drove to the basket and it created a passing lane to Moore, something we were talking about. The more he takes to the bucket like that, the better chances the Trojans are going to get overall.
Chipman with it. He'll give it up to Anderson on the wing. Back up top. So when Chipman takes an extra step through the lane, is that called a dub step, you think? That's my dad joke for the night there. Chipman thought about a 3 from the corner.
Around the world.
Working off of a pick, and he gets to that spot again.
Yes.
Trojans aren't cutting him off. He's dribbling to his spot, and he can get a shot from there. He's got 12 points.
That left-handed
Trojan lead
floater.
back down to 2. Moore with it on the baseline in the corner, looking for help. Back up top to Bourne. Now Salmons with it way up top. Gets it over to Cam Smith on the wing. Smith thinking about a drive, and they're going to say he stepped on the line, and that'll turn it over. It's the second time that stepping on the line has been called on the Trojans tonight, and Coach Westcott doesn't like the call. Brown will have it, gives it back to Chipman. Getting down around 3.5 to play third quarter. Chipman driving, gets to his spot, now dishes back out. The pass is mishandled by Larson and gathered back. Kicked over, shot on the way by Wolhoff, won't go, tipped around. And Fort Scott tracks it down. Another long three from Larson, no good. Moore gets a hand on it, and it's going to stay with Fort Scott. They're going to get about 5 shots at this one. And Chipman will inbound, gets it in to Larson. He turns it over. Bourne comes away with it for Girard, and he's fouled. And it looked like Larson may have got it cleanly, but the official was behind the play, and anytime you swipe at it like that, 9 times out of 10, if it's clean or not, you're going to get a foul call.
Yeah.
And Ransom Arnold heads the line to shoot 2.
Well, and I do agree with you that Larson got it cleanly. They did call the foul on Wolhoff, I believe. So the guy who went with contact with Bourne did a good job going into him. And that's just Wolhoff's first.
Yeah, that's his first. And Larson just has one as Bourne misses the front end. Bourne with 5 points. Trying to make it 6 right here. Hey, man, I'm doing the best I can.
Take this pen, man.
No, I got. I'm good. I'm surviving. I'm a survivor, Daryl. Can't kill me.
I want you in the apocalypse.
Trojan lead is 3. Chipman bringing up the floor for Fort Scott. 3 minutes to play third quarter. Chipman almost lost the dribble. Got it back. Gives it up to Brown. Now he'll go top of the key. Shot on the way. In rhythm. And it's good for Caden Brown. He's got 8 points. That's his first bucket of the second half.
Yeah, the Trojans really keyed on him in the first. Expect him to pick it back up in the second if they don't.
Pass off the hands of Smith, too high, and the Trojans turn it over, and that's just, man, when you're in a tie ball game, you can't do that sort of thing, and the Trojans giving Fort Scott all kinds of chances as they've closed what was a 3-point lead into the half, and they've now tied this game at 26 with a chance to take the lead, I think, for the first time tonight right here. Yeah, the Trojans started with 2 technical free throws. They've led the entire way, and Fort Scott have battled back into this game. Long cross-court pass over to Chipman. Cullen guarding him, back up top. Larson, now Brown with it, the free throw line, trying to get it down low. He's tied up. Oh no, they're going to get a foul against Cullen. Nope, they're going to get a foul against Perrin Stevens. And if you're the Trojans, that's better news than a foul against Cullen. Fourth team foul on the Trojans. Fort Scott has only committed 1 in this quarter, if you believe in that sort of thing. Larson with it, over to Chipman. 3-pointer on the way is good. And their outside shooting is heating up for Fort Scott. The Trojans going to have to play better perimeter defense on their shooters, as now the Trojans in the hole for the first time tonight, down by 3 to the Tigers. Bourne thought about it, now kicks it back up top to Smith. And you just got to have good passes here if you're the Trojans. You can't throw it away over the backcourt. Back up top to Smith, back over to Cullen. Ben into the lane, kicks over to Stevens, open for 3, quick 3-pointer is good. Perrin Stevens' first bucket of the night's a big one. A 3-pointer ties the game at 29. And there goes Chipman, and he's fouled. To see who they whistled this one on. They may get it on Cullen reaching in. And it's going to be a shooting foul now for, they got it on Stevens.
I guess another fortunate roll.
I don't know. If Stevens can make a 3, maybe that's not.
I'm not totally sure. That might be Stevens' first varsity bucket of the season as well.
I think it is. And Chipman hits the first free throw. He's come alive. He's got 16 points, 8 of them in this quarter. So the Trojans kind of letting him get heated up. Second shot on the way from Chipman, in and out. Rebound, Scott Moore. 1-point lead for Fort Scott. Smith with it, back over to Bourne, back to Cam Smith. At the elbow to Harrison Burke, who just checked into the game, and he's fouled, trying to get it out to Stevens.
Fouls on number 23, Josh Wolhoff.
They got this one on Wolhoff. That's 2. Second team foul on Fort Scott. Moore gets it into Bourne. Back to Moore at the free throw line. Scott spinning into the lane, elevates, shot on the way is good, and the foul. That's 6 points for Moore, trying to make it 7 here at the stripe.
This 2-3 zone that the Fort Scott Tigers are playing has just been very good at stopping any passing lane from opening to Scott Moore. In that, here on this inbound, he just slips by, the people don't catch him, and he's able to catch it at the elbow. Maybe something they need to go for more often, getting to Scott at the elbow.
Oh, man, Fort Scott got away with one there as it appeared the ball was touched by Wolhoff when he was standing out of bounds, but the official didn't see it, so it'll stay with the Tigers. Back to Larson, now up top to Brown, working against Cam Smith. Back to Chipman, under a minute to play. Trojans by 1. Chipman elevates from his spot, and nobody got a hand up in his face, and he's able to drain that one, and Chipman has 18 points, 10 of them in this quarter.
Chipman's on fire.
Stevens thought about a 3, now down low to Harrison Burke. His shot up and good off the glass. First bucket of the night for Harrison Burke, and the Trojans back up by 1. Chipman appears to be a little bit gassed, and he should be. He's played almost every minute of this game, and he's been the first guy up and down the floor several times as he works against Stevens. That shot out of rhythm by Marbury. Trojans come away with it. Bourne launches it. Oh, just off the mark. And that'll do it. 1 quarter left to play. Trojans lead it by 1, 33-32. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Farmers Bank is a proud supporter of Girard schools. For generations, Farmers Bank has worked with local leaders, businesses, and residents to help shape the future of Southeast Kansas. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. As partners in business and friends in life, Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank, with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. A partner in your fields and in your success. That's what you get with Murphy Seed. Channel seedsman Matt Murphy knows your fields and can recommend the elite seed products designed to perform in your area, maximizing the profitability of every acre. With Murphy Seed, you'll get year-round, hands-on, customized service. To learn more, call Murphy Seed at 620-249-6419. Your partner at every stage. Matt Murphy and Murphy Seed.
One quarter left to play. Trojans lead it by 1, 33-32 over the Fort Scott Tigers. Both of these teams desperately need a win here tonight just to kind of get the train back on the tracks. Fort Scott got their first win of the season last week, so they're maybe playing with a little bit more confidence tonight. Trojans dropped a tough one to Sabetha, but they got a win over Labette County on Friday night. There was a quality win. Siler Salmons, I was going to say, where is the foul? As he was knocked down on the shot attempt, and he'll head to the line to shoot a pair. See who they whistle this one on. They get it on Wolhoff. That's his third.
Wolhoff, his third, team first. To the line, shooting 2, number 3, Siler Salmons.
Salmon's first shot short of the mark. Bend those knees on the free throws. Salmon's first trip to the line tonight. He's got 4 points, all those coming in the first quarter. Kind of got the scoring started for the Trojans. Second shot rattles off, no good. Rebound tipped around, comes away to Ben Cullen. Down low to Harrison Burke, off the glass is good. Nice look by Cullen to find Burke, and the Trojans back up by 3. Down the lane, they're going to whistle this one on Cullen against Chipman, and Chipman beat him off the dribble and again gets to that spot in the lane. The help defense has got to step over and stop that dribble penetration. You're not necessarily going to be able to stop him out on the perimeter. You got to get some help down low, and the Trojans have been slow to rotate over.
Yeah.
And Chipman's taking advantage of that every time. He gets it within about 10 feet, and it's either to the bucket or a little floater.
I think that's going to be
off the mark.
The message as well. And it was a good job by Chipman to take advantage of the moment that Scott Moore was out of the game. Scott Moore not starting most of this fourth quarter. But now that he's back in, you'd like to see that help rotation come in and change things down low. Stop Chipman from getting that little floater that he loves so much.
Smith back into the game, along with Moore, as Perrin Stevens and Harrison Burke will sit. And just like that, Scott Moore pulls down the board. And the Trojans with it as Chipman comes up empty from the free throw line. Cullen with it into the corner to Bourne. Back up top. Trojans fortunate to get it back. Smith down low to Scott Moore, and he is fouled under the bucket, and I think he got bailed out there.
Yeah.
As it looked like he was going to get whistled for a travel, but Brown commits the foul. That's his first. Second team foul on Fort Scott. Smith with it on the wing to the corner to Ranson Bourne. He's going to launch another three and nails it.
That's that same exact play we saw earlier where Scott Moore goes to the elbow, gets the ball, and drives in. They have to respect it this time. That leaves Bourne wide open for the three on the outside.
6-point lead for the Trojans as Chipman now picks up his dribble, gives it up to Brown. Brown's going to drive into the lane, loses his dribble a little bit, but the shot goes.
Wow. Hey, sometimes you just send a prayer.
Yeah. I was going to say somebody's was answered there. Smith into the lane, little floater off the back iron, no good. Rebound comes down to Wolhoff. And Fort Scott coming back the other way, trailing by 4.
Hope that does not discourage him from the dribble drive.
Got away with one there, and his shot won't go, but he was standing on the end line, and they actually saw that one, and it'll give it back to the Trojans. It happened just a couple minutes ago, and Fort Scott kind of got away with it down on this end of the floor in the last quarter. Not the second time. Smith with it, directing traffic for the Trojans. As now Salmons with it on the wing, up top to Scott Moore, back around to Cam Smith. He'll take the three and drills it. 13 points for Cam Smith, 6 here in the second half, all of them coming from beyond the arc. Brown, 4-3 off the back iron and off the top of the backboard, out of bounds. It'll give it back to the Trojans. So Brown just trying to answer back for Fort Scott, stop some of the momentum, but now the Trojans get it back with a chance to add to this 7-point lead. Smith working against Chipman, crosses him over down the lane, wide open Siler Salmons for 3 in and out, and the rebound comes down to Chipman.
It didn't go that time, but that's the exact offense you want to roll. Suck the defenders in, pass it out.
And Salmons gets his hand in the passing lane, breaks that one up. Chipman trying to sneak up on Smith, doesn't work. Cam gets it over to Ranson Bourne, into the corner to Siler Salmons. Does a good job finding Scott Moore under the bucket. Assist for Salmons and the bucket for Scott Moore. He's got 8 points, 6 of them here in this second half. The Trojans open up a 9-point lead. Timeout on the floor. It's a full timeout. We'll take it as well. Trojans up by 9. 5:15 left to play. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Selling equipment can be a hassle. Whether you're needing to replace an old tractor or you're finally getting to retire, the time and energy needed to clean, prep, promote, and sell seems daunting. That's why you need Tyler Jackman and Big Iron Auctions. From one piece to the whole farm, Big Iron Auctions can deliver your items to more than 750,000 registered bidders. Call Tyler Jackman at 620-404-8115 or learn more at BigIronAuctions.com. Producers Cooperative Association is the area leader in providing quality agricultural products, services, and markets. PCA has what you need to maximize your operation with a full-service agronomy department, grain origination, handling and storage, bulk fuels and lubricants, propane, a jam-packed farm store, and livestock feeds in bulk or bagged. PCA is proud to call Girard home and to support Trojan athletics. Stop by or see more online at pcacoop.com.
The service down. Fort Scott with the ball coming out of the timeout. Chipman got across the timeline, gives it up to Brown. 5:05 to play. Over to the near side to Wolhoff. Now Marbury gives it up to Larson. Back up top. Now Brown with it again. Time ticking away for Fort Scott. Trailing by 9. Brown almost went up and down with it. And there's a turnover and a foul. Ranson Bourne comes away with it. And he's going to be fouled out in the open floor.
Fouls on number 10, Malachi Larson.
Fouls on Larson, his third.
Team third.
Okay, just his second, I guess. Smith gets it into Bourne. Now Cullen with it on the wing. Back up top to Cam Smith. Lob pass over the top. Oh, man, Scott Moore did a good job coming down with that one. Off the glass and good. 10 points for Moore.
We're starting to see this Fort Scott defense really break down. They're not being as sound down low, allowing a lot of over-the-top passes.
Brown trying to back in on Cam Smith, and they're going to whistle Cam with a foul.
Fouls on number 22, Cam Smith.
That's a strict interpretation of the rule. And Fort Scott will inbound. Chipman from the baseline gets it into Brown. Back into the corner to Chipman. Thought about the shot. Gets to his spot. Now kicks it out to Brown. Straightaway three on the way is good.
Cannon Brown for 3.
13 points for Brown. 8 of them coming here in the second half. Scott Moore with a crossover. Whoa. The handles.
Woo!
Now Cullen with it, driving, kicks into the corner to Cam Smith. Shot on the way, off the mark. Rebound comes down to Marbury. And if you're the Trojans, you want to maybe not live and die so much by that outside shot at this point in the game. And Brown going to pull up for another 3 and hits, and you got to play some perimeter defense on that dude. How many is he going to hit before you get a hand up?
Feeling it, and that is going to be scary.
Yep. 11 points in the second half for him. He's got 16, and the lead back down to 5. Can't just let him have an open look at it. Bourne with it on the wing. Up top to Scott Moore. Back to Siler Salmons on the wing. Looking for help. Into Cullen at the elbow, and he's fouled over the top by Malachi Larson. That'll be 3 on Larson. And this time I'm correct.
Fouls on number 10, Malachi Larson.
That is also Fort Scott's 4th team foul. So one more of those, and Girard will be sent to the line on every single foul.
Gets it into Bourne on the inbound. Ranson trying to get it to Moore at the elbow. It's tipped out over his back. Fort Scott expending a lot of energy trying to deny Scott Moore the basketball. You can understand why. Bourne with it in the backcourt. He'll bring it across the timeline for the Trojans. Looking for some help up top. Gives it to Siler Salmons. They rotate around. Scott Moore with it top of the key. Now Bourne driving baseline. Has it poked away from behind, and they're going to whistle Brown with that reach-in foul. And that should be 2 on Brown. And it is.
Fouls on number 11, Cannon Brown, his second, team 5th.
And that will send Ranson Bourne to the line to shoot a pair. Bourne's 2 of 4 from the stripe tonight. I'd like to think he'd be a little bit better than a 50% free throw shooter. Got a chance to do it right here. Bend the knees. That one was not close.
His whole family up in the crowd is giving him so much crap.
Hey, man, come on. Make those in the driveway. Second shot rolls off, no good. So Bourne comes up empty. And the fouls only matter if you make your free throws. Here comes Brown, kicks it out to Larson. Little pull-up jumper for Larson is good. The Trojans need to wake up offensively. It's just a 3-point lead here. They led by as many as 9, and Fort Scott has trimmed it to 3. Now Cam Smith, this is the guy you want the ball shooting free throws. Trojans may want to get the ball back in his hands. Chipman. I got an offensive foul against Ben Cullen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When he was spinning around there, he took that body with him. It's kind of a 50-50 shot whether they're going to call that or not, but that time they did.
Not a good foul for the Trojans. There's a timeout as Coach Westcott needs to talk it over. Stop this momentum that Fort Scott's got going here. 2:28 to play. Trojans leading it by 3. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here.
It's been a real back-and-forth game, and like you mentioned, it was a 7-point game not too long ago.
It was a 9-point game.
Not too long ago. And this lead kind of just evaporated. Brown came down and hit 2 really quick threes.
Yeah.
And that got them back into it. And then
like three-pointers often do. And that's why you got to
Exactly.
play perimeter defense when you're playing a team that's down almost double digits.
Yep.
You know they're going to start taking that three-point shot, and you got to honor that.
Especially him. He's done such a good job all night not allowing him to be open outside. And cracks just for a moment, and he gets 2 back-to-backs. A little bit of a heat check for him. And boy, was he on fire.
And now Fort Scott starting to feel it, and the Trojans are going to have to clamp down defensively.
Yes.
And get a stop here. The clock is your extra man. If you're the Trojans, you want to get a stop and then burn as much time on your next possession as you possibly can. Chipman with it on the inbound, working off a screen into Scott Moore, gives it up to Brown. Moore steps out to pick him up. Now back to Chipman. Scott needs to get back, let the guards do the perimeter defense, even though Scott's a hard guy to shoot over. And a long three-pointer on the way in and out, but nobody down there for the Trojans to rebound. Brown comes away with it. Open look, and the three-pointer's good.
That's a true heat check right there, all tied up. All right, who on your team has guts now? Who's it going to be?
Now Moore with it. And Cullen with it out on the wing. Get it back to a guard. Bourne's got it. Now back to Salmons. Cam Smith with it. Let's see Cam work with the dribble. Into the lane. Over to Bourne. Stepping through. He's fouled off the glass and good. What? Oh my gosh, they're going to call that on the floor.
They call the reach in beforehand, not the contact on the shot. It's the correct call, but it's still going to send him to the free throw line.
Oh my goodness. Oh. We're going to have to agree to disagree on that, Daryl.
Yeah, well.
Most other forms of basketball, you get the continuation on that. Bourne has not been good from the free throw line tonight as he misses his 3rd in a row. Bend the knees. Take a deep breath.
He's got his brothers Rigby and Bram watching his every move here. they're smiling every time he misses it.
Well, they're the only ones in here not wearing bright red. Trojans by 1. Almost turned it over. And they're going to whistle a foul on Cam Smith. Way over there on the far side. He's shaking his head, and so am I. Everything's getting real touchy here down the stretch. Usually goes the other direction. None of this stuff was a foul in the first quarter. Ransom Bourne gets a hand on the inbound pass, knocks it out of bounds, and Fort Scott will have to inbound from the far side in the back court. Chipman will get it into Brown. Let's get that perimeter defense set. It's 2 guards coming down the floor here. Brown into the lane. Pass deflected. Now back out to Chipman. And they're going to get Bourne with a block. It's a good call. He didn't have his feet set. And that's 4 on Bourne.
Foul number 1, Ransom Bourne, his 4th, team 5th. To the line, shooting 2, number 0, Doug Chipman.
Chipman went 0 for 2 on his last trip to the line. Trojans could really use him to do that here. He makes the first. Ties it at 46. And he hits them both. 1-point lead for the Tigers. Trojans led by as many as 9, and they throw it away. Just not the place for a lob pass to Scott Moore. He's out by the 3-point line. Timeout on the floor, full timeout. We'll take it as well. Trojans trailing by 1, just turned it over. It'll be Fort Scott ball when we come back. 1:09 to play. Trojans down by 1. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Communicating with current and potential customers is a must in the world of business. Advertising is nothing more than communication and an invitation. Look no further than Norris Advertising, offering a wide variety of services from billboards, radio across the 4 states, and digital ad services like ZTV, YouTube, geofencing, streaming, and more beyond the local view. Looking to upgrade your storefront? Norris Advertising is your go-to for local digital sign sales. Norris Advertising. Get your ads to work.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium. Trojans trailing by 1. Just turned it over, so it'll be Fort Scott ball coming out of the timeout. Now they desperately need a stop. And if you're Fort Scott, whatever best play you've got, this is the time to run it. You really need some breathing room. And if you're the Trojans, you got to deny that dribble penetration by Dub Chipman and by Kanan Brown, because that's been killing them here in this second half. Cullen guarding Chipman. He picks up his dribble, kicks it over to Brown. Brown back to Chipman. Cullen guarding him. And they're going to whistle Cullen for the foul, and it'll send Chipman to the line to shoot 2 with 51.2 left to play. He's got a chance to push us out to a 3-point lead here. He's made both of his free throws last time. He's 3 of 6 from the line tonight. That one rattles in. Second shot is good. Chipman has been money from the free throw line the last couple times down the floor. Now the Trojans find themselves down by 3. You don't need to get it all back here, but you got to have a quick shot. Bourne down the lane, can't get it to go. Rebound Fort Scott. Chipman comes down with it, and nobody wants to foul him because he's been fire from the line. Now we're down to 30 seconds, and you got to do something if you're Girard. Timeout Fort Scott. It's a full timeout. We'll take it as well. Trojans down by 3, 31.3 left to play. We'll have the finish of this one when we come back. You're watching Trojan Basketball on Girard Sports Live.
The first one here is a 2017 Ford Focus with only 21,000 miles. That one's not for sale though. I'm going to probably keep that one.
Hi, my name's Eddie.
2016 Chevy Malibu with only 13,000 miles, but I might hang on to that one too, so let me show you the next one. Ford F-150, but that one's going to stay with me too. So let's go down to the next one here.
Hi, I'm Eddie.
2017 F-150, so we have 3 of them. I could probably let that one go.
Hi, my name's Eddie.
2015 Ford Transit Cargo. I'm going to keep that one because I have to move here soon. But the rest of them, you're welcome to come out and look at. And I think you'd like them.
Come back. Screw it. Welcome back. Ted R. Taylor Gymnasium. Trojans trailing by 3. Fort Scott with the ball coming out of the timeout. 30 seconds left to play. Brown with it, guarded by Cam Smith, and they're going to whistle Smith for the foul on Brown. That'll be 4 on Smith. Doesn't really matter at this point. And it will sprint Kanan Brown to the line to shoot 2. He's 1 of 2 from the stripe tonight. He hasn't shot a free throw since early in the first quarter. Brown wins the award tonight for the most Larry Bird-like hairstyle as he hits the first.
Well, he sure shoots like him. He's hit a lot of threes.
He has. And he's hit 3 of them here in this fourth quarter, 4 of them in the second half.
All at big moments.
Yeah. And he's really got Fort Scott back in this game, hits both free throws. Now it's a 5-point lead. Trojans got to work real fast here. You got to hoist the 3. You can't waste time. Can't wait around. Got to shoot it. Here goes Bourne into lane, kicks it outside. Cullen is going to be whistled for an offensive foul, and that's going to do it. That's your game. Cullen may have twisted his ankle a little bit on that one, and he's going to sit. That's 4, I believe, 5 on Cullen. Perrin Stevens into the game. Levi Blair in for Ransom Bourne. And, man, this is just kind of a gut-wrencher for the Trojans because you led by 9, you controlled the game, and then you let an outside shooter get Fort Scott back into this one. I mean, it's been Brown and Chipman the whole way, and there Chipman's fouled by Stevens with 14.8, and it's just an academic exercise now. Two guards took over this game in the second half for Fort Scott. Dub Chipman and Kanan Brown Chipman hits the first. He's made 5 in a row from the stripe now. 5 of 7 from the line in the fourth quarter. And it's a 6-point lead for Fort Scott now. So a 14-point swing here in this second half for Fort Scott as Chipman misses the second, but Fort Scott comes away with a rebound. And now Chipman fouled again by Siler Sammons. That'll be his third, and it'll send Chipman back to the line. And we're just dragging this one out.
Yep. Prolonging the inevitable.
Chipman's first shot, no good. All he's done in this fourth quarter is shoot free throws. That's his 9th. This will be his 10th free throw in this quarter. Short of the mark, no good. Rebound, Cam Smith. Here come the Trojans back the other way. Got to get a shot. Got to get a shot. Got to get a shot. Here it comes from Ransom Bourne off the mark, out of bounds. And that's your game. Trojans led by 9. They lose by 6, 52-46. And the Fort Scott Tigers pick up the win. They'll improve to 2-9 on the season. The Trojans will fall to 4-8. We'll step away for a quick break. We'll be back with the Eastside Cafe postgame show. You're watching Trojan basketball on Girard Sports Live.
You've enjoyed life. Over the years, your community has become your passion, something you hope future generations get to experience, just as you have. That's why the Girard Area Community Foundation has worked hard to help fulfill charitable goals and inspire generosity, meeting the needs of the communities they serve. Creating a legacy fund with GACF ensures what you leave behind is an effective and lasting improvement in the community you love so dearly. Make plans to visit GirardAreaFoundation.com, preserving traditions for those who follow.
Hydrix, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Samsung savings. Leave notes, sync calendars, and display your photos on the new Samsung Family Hub refrigerator. Plus, get free same-day delivery. Why shop for appliances where the motto is do it yourself when you can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day?
The only thing better than our price is our service. Hydrix, Fort Scott, and Girard.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a house, land, or commercial space, look no further than Lehman Realty. Locally owned and operated, Jason Lehman and his staff are ready to meet the needs of every client. When it comes to your listing, you can trust that Lehman Realty will take the time to get to know you and your property. Lehman Realty is a proud supporter of Girard Trojan Athletics. Learn more at www.lehmanrealty.net or call Jason at 620-724-8020.
Whether you're trying to make the most of the next harvest, navigating a changing business landscape, or planning for the next chapter in your life, the professionals at Prime Accounting Solutions are here to help. With 10 locations, Prime Accounting offers convenient, friendly accounting and tax services at a fair price. Payroll, bookkeeping, business planning, personal tax filing, and more. And now Prime is the place to go for insurance. Trojan fans can find us at 408B North Grand in Pittsburgh or call 620-232-7305. To find a location near you, go to primeaccounting.net.
Welcome back to Ted R. Taylor. Trojan boys fall 52-46 to the Fort Scott Tigers. Trojans led by 3 at the half, led by as many as 9 in the second half. But Fort Scott able to close the gap due to the outstanding play of Dub Chipman and Kanan Brown. They're two guards who combined for 44 points tonight. The rest of the team just 8 points for Fort Scott. Yeah. Those two dudes won the game tonight for Fort Scott over the Girard Trojans. This is the Eastside Cafe post-game show brought to you by Eastside Cafe. Where'd I go? These things so confusing sometimes. Yeah, okay. Our post-game show is brought to you by Eastside Cafe, where you can experience the best breakfast in all of Crawford County, 6 days a week at 120 South Ozark Street in Girard, proud supporters of Trojan Athletics. Okay, let's take a look at some of those scoring totals. Like we mentioned, Fort Scott led in scoring by Dub Chipman. He had 23. Kanan Brown had 21. Next highest scorer, Malachi Larson, had 4. And then Ty Marbury and Tyler Anderson with a bucket each to round out the scoring for Fort Scott. Largely a two-man show. For the Trojans, they're led in scoring by Cam Smith. He had 13. Scott Moore with 10. Ransom Bourne with 10. Siler Sammons and Harrison Burke had 4 points each. Perrin Stevens added a 3-point bucket in the third quarter. And Ben Cullen a bucket in the first quarter to round out the scoring for Girard. But a tough one here tonight for the Trojans, and certainly one that you think that they would have come away with, but man, oh man, just the outside shooting down the stretch by Fort Scott. They didn't make many outside shots, if any, in that first half. And then, man, the second half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3-pointers down the stretch and a bunch of free throws. And they come away with the win. The Trojans turned the ball over at key moments where they needed to take care of it. And Fort Scott comes out of here with a win. They literally steal one from the Trojans in the last 5 minutes of the game.
It was really strange how the game went because it felt like we were pretty well in control of it for a large portion there.
Until we weren't.
Like you said, they just came storming back. There are some positives in this game, and that's Cam Smith is starting to find his rhythm, and I really like that out of that because we don't have a lot of creators on offense. Ransom Bourne's really the only creator we have outside, opening up passing lanes and lanes to the basket for the other guys. Now that Smith's starting to find his dribble drive to the bucket, starting to find his shot outside, you'll be able to see Scott Moore open up a lot more down low. And I think the focal point still has to be Scott Moore. He's still going to be the tallest guy on the floor almost every single time. But I mentioned it. If your identity is going to be defense, you got to hold him under 50 points.
And if Scott Moore is going to be your guy, somebody else, you got to have another guy.
You can't just have one.
There's got to be a Robin to your Batman.
You got to have a Dub to your
exactly
cannon.
Because unless they're going to honor somebody else on the floor, then you can triple team Scott Moore and force someone else to beat you, which has kind of been what teams have done to the Trojans this year, and just nobody else has really stepped up to be that secondary scorer.
Yeah.
And tonight, Trojans have 3 guys in double figures, but can't come away with the win, as you can't stop the 2 guards for Fort Scott. And that's what outside shooting can do for you. If you got a really good outside shooter, you're never really out of a game. And I think that Fort Scott understood, hey, we got these 2 guys. If we can just keep this thing close, we'll take the reins off of him in the fourth quarter and let him shoot away, and that's what they did. All right, right now we're joined by head coach Rod Westcott. And Coach, a game that kind of felt for a little over 3 quarters like you guys really had control of this one. It just kind of slipped away from you. Chipman and Brown just started hitting those outside shots, and like I was saying to Darryl, when you got guys who can drain threes, you're never really out of a game.
They're a handful.
Yeah,
I don't know what the 2 of them had tonight. I'm sure they had most of them. But, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to take right there, because we knew those 2 coming in, and we didn't do a very good job of locking them down and doing what we needed to do. But even that being said, we look at some things that we did not do ourselves. Missed some offensive boards throughout the game where they got putbacks. And every point counts when it's tight like that. Had some bad turnovers late. They sped us up a little bit, and we didn't handle the ball very well. And our end of game execution was not very, very good tonight, obviously. And then we're not even talking about the free throw line, because if we make our free throws, that's a different ball game too. But everybody that played tonight can look at themselves, and I need to look at myself too, because I probably should have got some timeouts there when they made their little run there towards the end of the fourth quarter, and tried to slow them down. But it's one of those that you'd like to have back and replay it, but we'll have to go back and watch a little film. It'll be hard to watch, because there's so many little things. If we do differently, it's a different outcome for us tonight.
And you're back in action this week. It's a 3-game homestand, but it doesn't get any easier, as you got Colgan coming up Friday night. It's homecoming here in Girard. That brings with it its own separate challenges off the floor. But then Galena as well, your next home game. So what are you thinking about looking forward to the Panthers and then eventually the Bulldogs?
Haven't thought about it yet.
Yeah.
We'll get to work tomorrow on Colgan, and we've got to see them a little bit. And they've got some kids that shoot the ball and good quickness. We just Fort Scott just played them Friday or Saturday this last week, and it's always a good one when the 2 teams get together. But we're gonna let this one soak in a little bit, and we'll get to work on them tomorrow.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for coming up and talking to us, and try and shake this one off for Friday.
Right. Thanks, Josh.
All right. That's head coach Rod Westcott of Girard Trojans, and they come up short tonight, 52-46 to the Fort Scott Tigers, and it was a game that it seemed for a little over 3 quarters like the Trojans had it in the bag. They kind of had control of the game, and then it just got away from them in that fourth quarter with Kanan Brown and Dub Chipman hitting 3-pointers and free throws. And Brown finishes 21, Chipman with 23, the rest of the team with 8. And other than those 2 dudes, Girard Trojans did a good job defensively against Fort Scott. And back to the drawing board, and it doesn't get any easier Friday night. Colgan coming in. So Trojans going to have to shake this one off, learn what they can from it, and then get back to work on the practice court and hopefully get back out here and get a win on homecoming night against Colgan. We'll have that game for you here on Girard Sports Live. The girls' game tips at 6. Boys' game to follow. Our pregame coverage will start at about 5:30. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. And
we don't have any more breaks.
No. We burned through all our breaks?
No.
All right, well. All right, Darryl. Well, I guess we can just put a bow on it then.
Yeah.
So for Darryl McLean, I'm Josh Lettner saying thanks for joining us. This last one was a rough one, but, man, that girls' game, Trojan girls, man, came out and blew the doors off Fort Scott.
Don't forget those short stacks.
A great game, and that's right, short stacks for $2 tomorrow at Eastside Cafe. It's worth the drive over to Girard. It's always worth it to drive over and have some Eastside Cafe. So come on over and check it out. Get you a $2 short stack tomorrow and celebrate Erica Boatman's double-double and do it the best way possible with pancakes. But for Daryl McLean, I'm Josh Ledner saying thanks for joining us. You've been watching Trojan Basketball on Girard Sports Live.
Thanks for watching. From the gridiron to the hardcourt, the pitch to the mat, don't miss any of the action. We're there.